Well, good morning, everybody. Great to be here with you. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Hang on, I dropped my pen. I can't. Got to have it in my hand for some reason. A crutch, if you will. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, also here. Good morning, Benjamin.
Diva over there.
I just dropped
Got
my
to
pen.
have his pen in his hand.
I got to have it.
Can't do the show otherwise. I've got a don't do this story that is along those same lines later today.
Okay. Guy couldn't live without his pen.
Couldn't play without his, the way he likes things just perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I know guys like that. I like it in my hand. I need the crutch. I do this a lot too. You guys will probably hear it.
Fantastic.
On the air. It's good. We all have our little ticks, our little peccadillos.
You
Ben.
chew those pen caps to death.
Well, not so. That's why I have this pen, because I don't.
No cap.
Look at that. No cap. No nothing. There's nothing here I can chew. It's good to be here with you guys. I got to tell you, I feel fantastic. I legitimately don't know if I've slept this good since college. I feel more well-rested, Ben, than I have since any day I've ever met you.
I was shocked because I pulled into the parking lot. I get out of my car and I hear a, hey! Going like, that sounded like Woods. He's never down here when I arrive. He's always already up in the studio, settled in, probably was here for an hour because he got up way earlier than I did. And I'm going, what did you forget? Like, you're coming back down to your car for
He goes,
something.
you're not going home, are you? I go, no, I'm not going home. I was coming to say hello.
You had your backpack on. I'm going, is he leaving? He's leaving.
Okay, I'm not doing this.
There's no way he just got here. He's leaving now. He's leaving me to do the show with Paulie.
Yeah, with
what's going on? Something at home? Is there a problem? And I'm worried already. And he goes, no, I just got here.
It was amazing. I was dead asleep. I was dead to the world. And babe, like, what? Are you going to work? It's 4:45. I'm like, 4:45? I'm like, I've never gotten up that late for this show in my life. So I jumped in the shower, got here, 5:30 or whatever. But it was great. I feel fantastic, man. I looked at my sleep score. Slept for 7 hours last night. Like, fairly.
That'll do.
That will do.
Did you do anything unusual yesterday that would made you extra tired? Like really good workout or anything like that?
So it was when I left here, you know that. I was like, I got to go. Paulie, you split to go get your car worked on. I looked at Paulie, I go, let's cut this thing. I got to get out of here, dude. I could barely, my eyes were crossing. I had 3 hours of sleep the night before. Got in the car and I'm driving home and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm going to get in bed. And then I remembered, oh, dude, you got to pick up Taylor early from school at 1. So it's 10:30. So I'm driving, and I'm like, all right, man, just do it. Yesterday was cardio day. It's 45 minutes on the treadmill, good, solid run and walk. I go, all right, I'm going to go. And I did. So I went and did it. When I was done with the cardio, to go, you got to go get the paper towel and the spray, and you do the eye wash clean off. So I wash clean off. So I did. So I did that. When I went to grab the thing, I was like woozy. That's how tired I was. So I got home, chilled for 20 minutes, and then had to go get Taylor, put him down, chilled for another 20 minutes, went to therapy, came home, had dinner, put the kids down. Everyone was getting along. It was like the most beautiful. Everyone was in a good mood. The kids were great. Put them down. They went right down. Got in bed, watched a TV show or something, watched Curb. I think I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then I just shut the phone off instead of falling asleep with it on. Because I usually fall asleep with it on. And I think that really helped. Just turned it off and closed my eyes and went to bed. Next thing you know, my wife is shaking me awake. I got to tell you, though, I really have not felt this good.
This is great.
In a long time.
Power through, no nap, but just power through the day, and then you're really tired at the end of the night.
Got my workout in. I don't really nap anymore. I can't sleep, so I just relax a little bit, try to shut the brain off. But man, I feel fantastic. How are you guys doing? Everybody good?
I'm good. I went to bed early. I had a good night. I was off because I worked all last week for the holiday at Channel 10 covering. So they said, take a couple of days off this week instead.
Good for you.
Yeah, I was home last night. Shelley used the last of the turkey to make turkey pot pie, which was fantastic.
I saw them on Instagram. They looked incredible.
Well, she was proud of them. That was like Instagram. Well, they had like a puff pastry top instead of a pie crust. It was delicious.
It looked incredible.
And then we popped on National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which I hadn't seen in a couple of years. I don't know why. I always forget that Julia Louis-Dreyfus, like a young Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is the neighbor the neighbor lady in the movie. It's like every time I turn it on, it's like surprising. Wait, no, I forgot she was in this movie.
Where are you going to put a tree that big? You bend over and I'll show you.
I wasn't talking to you.
You can't talk to me that way. I wasn't talking to you. I love it.
It's a fantastic movie.
After you shower, of course.
It might be
It's the greatest.
Chevy Chase's best movie.
Yeah, Fletch is up there.
Yeah, but his reaction, I just studied him carefully while watching it last night.
He's my sarcastic hero, man. Nobody better than Clark Griswold.
His fits, his just losing it in that movie, so good.
Yeah, he's incredible. The whole movie is great, and it's an instant classic. We watch it over and over. I never really tire of it, and it's more of a brings back good Christmas memories because I watched it with my family growing up. We loved it. My mom can't get enough. It was on every day. My brother would watch it every single day in the Christmas season. So I love it too. Margot, yeah, that was her name.
I heard on the news that an airline pilot spotted Santa's sled on its way in from New York.
You serious, Clark?
You serious, Clark?
It's so subtle and so stupid.
Now, Randy Quaid he's lost the time a little bit lately. It's fine. It happens. But he was beyond genius.
Brilliant.
When he walks up to that, when they're down and he's drinking that eggnog out of the moose cups.
The tight white
sweater with the Dickie underneath it. And he walks up to that wooden thing and he goes... and knocks it all over. He tries to spin it, but it doesn't spin. He just knocks it over. I pee my pants every time I see it. It's the greatest.
I mean, the whole every movie, every scene in that movie is good. And like Randy Quaid and them, they're walking through the store. He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a tough Christmas. Or, times are tough. We have no money for the kids." And he's putting $500 worth of dog food into the cart.
What is the brand of the dog food he puts on the cart?
I wasn't paying close enough attention.
Purina?
Old Roy.
Oh, Roy. You know that movie well.
You serious, Clark?
I love that. I love that.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we need to. My kids will watch it too. They'll love it. So, no, it's good. That's a nice, fun evening for you guys, Benjamin. Today is National Stay at Home Because You're Well Day. So if you're listening right now, just call your boss. Let him know I'm staying home today because I'm well.
Everything's good, but I'm staying home.
It's like a self-care day. And I told this story on the...
Mental Health Day.
I told this story on the stream the other night, but I've been with my wife now 10 years in February, which is crazy. Every birthday and Christmas from her mom, she would give me a massage from a lady named Frankie. And I, in typical me fashion, were just, oh, thank you so much, and just put it in a drawer. We've moved a few times. Things have been lost in the shuffle. So finally, I run into this pile of gift certificates to go get a massage. And very generous gifts, 90-minute massages. So then I go in, I call the place, and I'm like, I'd like to book an appointment with Frankie, finally. And they said, Frankie doesn't work here anymore. No, I'm sorry. They booked it and said, okay, great. We'll see you at 2 o'clock. So I go in, and I got my gift certificate, and they're like, okay, I'll take you back. And I said, oh, great, here's my certificate. And they go, ooh. I said, what? What's the problem? Frankie does not work here any longer. And I said, so I can't use this. No, this is a massage bought directly from her, but she's no longer here. I said, so my mother-in-law wasted, I don't know, like 10 gift certificates. I mean, for a couple $1,000, I'd guess, over the years. I finally tracked down Frankie through my mother-in-law. She goes, oh, I still know her. She's got a new place. Texted with Frankie. I'm going to go get a massage today on the house, free of charge, 90 minutes. So I'm looking forward to getting the hell out of here because at 11 o'clock, your boy will be stripping it down, laying it out, and taking care of himself.
That's fantastic.
It's a self-care Thursday.
You're staying at home because you're well.
I'm staying at home because I'm well.
You also told that whole story yesterday about the massages. And
I told it on the member stream.
Oh, you did?
Which I said before. I told it again here.
Ah, I see. Okay.
He doesn't listen.
I do listen. I heard the whole story twice.
I saw him get excited and start texting.
I was wondering,
He was
why are you
texting
telling this story the second time that everyone's heard it before?
But when I told it again, I said this on the membership.
Said it at the very beginning.
I missed that.
The glaze is just over his face. It's fine. I was like, why is he smiling? And then I saw him texting.
I couldn't understand it. It felt like you were pulling a me, telling the same story over again. Because I do that for sure. I have no doubt about that.
You just pulled it
again.
Yes.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. So I'm going to do that today. I'm very excited to meet Frankie and get a rub down.
Well, today is actually National Personal Space Day, so I don't know that it's a great day to get a massage because you can't have a massage while also respecting a lot of personal space. You're not great on personal space, by the way.
No, I'm not.
No.
No.
You violate it.
I do.
Occasionally.
I like to be up in your business.
Yeah, you like to get up kind of close.
Yeah.
You grabbed my shoulders yesterday over here.
I did. I went behind him and rubbed his shoulders.
I don't know why. Just it's always uncomfortable for me.
It feels good.
Not to the point where I'm going to talk to HR or anything, but you're definitely not the best when it comes to personal space.
Wouldn't that be weird if Ben ratted me out, like in the movie Disclosure, and I get called in, you've been touching Ben a lot. I'm like, it's like brotherly love. Like I'm giving him a massage. Granted, unwanted massage, unasked for, unsolicited massage, but a massage is just the same. I'm not rubbing my leg up your leg over there.
No. I don't feel like you have bad intentions ever, but that's not something you're great at.
I had a bit of a sixth sense thing happening this morning when I was getting ready to leave. I was standing in my closet and trying to find a shirt to wear today. Now, a month or two ago, Woodsy, you told me about a new shirt brand that you found.
The greatest.
I don't even want to say who it is. I don't want anybody else to know about it. I don't want their prices to go up. It's fantastic.
I'm telling you guys. I went to Chicago. I saw this store. I looked inside this store and I went, well, this looks pretty cool. Walked in, started grabbing. This is one of them. Started grabbing the shirts and I went, oh God. And I started buying them, and then I got home and bought them, and I go, oh, dude, they don't pill. They're perfect.
They're so soft.
They're so soft. They're reasonably priced.
They last you wash them. They don't shrink. They're
great.
Still soft. They're
Feel
great.
it. Feel the shirt.
I love them. So you told me about them.
That's nice.
I checked out your shirt. I'm like, yeah, that's good. I need that. Oh. So I bought, it was like a 9-pack, 9 different colors.
No bacon neck?
No, nothing.
No bacon neck
They're
at
fantastic.
all? They're just great.
So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at my shirts and I'm finding one to wear. And I go, I'm going to wear this one. I know Woods has the same shirt, but he's probably not going to wear it today.
Oh, you're at Twinsies.
We are wearing the exact
same shirt. The kind of the army green
More stolen
colored
valor.
T-shirt there.
More stolen valor.
Paul, you made an interesting
Woods.
point, though. You said you almost didn't want to say because if everyone knows about it, that's just bad. You like to have your own little personal secret. And I've often thought that, especially given what we do. I mean, we tell someone about something. It goes out to all of San Diego. Like, you find a great sandwich shop. It's like, oh, this place is amazing. Do I really want to tell everybody, though? And now it's going to be crowded. There's going to be lines out the door. Really, though, you should. I mean, you need to tell people about it's the responsibility of this job, and you're helping a business that is doing something well.
Guys
so you really
out
should
there.
Promote it. If it is a good product, you should let them know.
We used to go to the same spot. We've talked about it before.
Fresh, clean.
You don't have to mention the one that was not great.
They were a step up from what I had.
Which was Hanes.
Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
At Ross,
and they tried.
They tried.
And it was fine.
And
you
ordered
great.
packs of it, and you're like, oh, cool. Then they would pill up.
They didn't last.
Bacon neck, they didn't last. First day I wore the white one I got there, it had a big rip down the side. I found this store in Chicago. It's called True Classic.
They're the same idea as the other one. I saw them on Instagram all the time before you happened to pop into a brick and mortar store.
Yep.
And yeah, True Classic.
They're unbelievable.
I want to try all their other stuff.
I spent
tons of men's basics. They have joggers, crew necks,
sweaters,
sweatshirts. Yeah, they got it all.
I mean, and it's just plain, it's not.
It's just basics for men. And
I know that you like shirts with dragons and stuff going around the back, Merlin,
Ed Hardy
on the front.
Here.
Yeah, so your Merlin shirt that you wear. You know my Merlin story. You know my Merlin story.
Merlin story.
You guys know my Merlin.
Tease that one.
My bachelor party.
No,
Merlin
I don't
story.
know.
I don't know.
You
I don't know a
this?
Merlin
Come on,
story.
I
I
told
have
this
no
before.
idea what you're talking about.
Let's extend foreplay into our next segment after the Daily Ditty and get the Merlin Bachelor
I am super
story
excited
from
for this.
Woods because now I'm very excited about this coming up. Don't forget it's Rolling Stones week. Non-hits from the Stones, and you need to know the title of the song to later win 2 tickets to the Rolling Stones at SoFi Stadium next summer. So that'll come up next. Woodsy's coming up with it right now, and we will come back with our Daily Ditty, and then we'll get into it with a Merlin story. I had the new announcement of the Aztecs head coach yesterday. A Padre is now a former Padre, signed a free agent contract while you were sleeping. We'll tell you who's gone for good when we come back with Ben and Woods. Glad to have you with us on a Thursday morning, a Throwback Thursday on San Diego's #1 sports station. Here's Kelly with our first check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Now, that doesn't sound like Mick Jagger, does it, Benjamin?
It does not. It sounds more like Bob Dylan.
Or Keith Richards.
Keith
Bob
Richards.
Dylan isn't in the Rolling Stone.
I know he's not,
He
but-
sings like a Rolling Stone, but he's not in it. Before They Make Me Run, which is just one of my best. It's one of my favorites. It is the great Keith Richards on lead vocals, and I believe it's on the Some Girls album. And he just sounds like ass, but it sounds good because it's Keith Richards. So.
Before They Make Me Run is the title you'll need to know
Yeah, some
later
girls,
in the show
1978.
for a chance to win our second to last pair of Rolling Stones tickets before they go on sale tomorrow morning at the end of our show at 10 a.m. So 2 more chances to win. You need to know Before They Make Me Run. And I promised, and I'll see if I can remember to follow through this time, not going to be the same old 9:29 like it's been the first 3 days. We're going to do it a little bit earlier in the show. So you need to be on your toes listening for that chance to win coming up later. Did mention Padres' Nick Martinez signed with the Cincinnati Reds overnight. We'll talk about that coming up, but he is gone, gets a $26 million deal with
At what cost?
an opt-out after the first season. So AJ's not the only one who gives out those kind of deals.
Good Lord.
But one pitching option for the Padres is off the market. We'll talk about that, but I got to get the Merlin story that we just teased.
Yes, I totally forgot about it.
The Merlin story is what we all are waiting for now.
Do we have traffic or anything? We
Nope,
don't.
we
All
do
right,
not.
let's see how much.
You have the floor for the next few
Merlin.
minutes.
Probably Google like Merlin shirt.
Like the wizard
They go the wizard, yeah.
from the King
Have
Arthur
I never
legend.
told you guys this?
Merlin.
We go to my buddy I went to college with, Bobby, one of my best friends in college, and slick guy, sharp guy, and we had his bachelor party in Las Vegas for his wedding, and we had about 8-9 guys there, but he had his brother there, his younger brother, that let's just say was into different things than we all were. Most of the things we were into were illegal. He was very it was like Ben. It was like we were on a bachelor party with young Ben.
Right.
Right. So he said we had a huge the steak dinner bit, and he's like, all right, everyone, bring your best stuff, and we're gonna go down, chody Vegas guys in their 20s
And
doing
a
the thing.
and a nerd.
And
I know what you're talking about.
And his brother.
Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings. We know.
So
we know the type. We are the type sometimes.
So we're standing down in the lobby and we're waiting, and guys are trickling down, and my man gets off the elevator and he's got some jeans on and his button-down short sleeve Merlin, like the shirt. It was a shirt of Merlin the Wizard with like a crystal ball, and that was his
clubbing outfit.
That's the one
That was
he
his
goes.
clubbing
That's
attire.
the one that he goes. Oh yeah. I'm throwing this one on tonight, and we are going to go rage. And my buddy, it's his brother, so he's like, ugh. You can't come out with us. You're gonna wear that shit. Like he dressed him down. I was like, just let him go. I was like, who knows? I mean, it's Vegas. You can do anything you want.
Well, I think that's the thing. You want to look like everybody else and know you're going to look a little worse than everybody else because you don't rock it that way. Or be yourself. Maybe you'll actually, meet someone who shares interests with you and knows that they share interests
Are you
with you.
telling me and my friends how to get girls, and you're
No, I'm telling how, like, if you're a nerd, just lean into it. I learned long ago.
Yeah, but this was
can't
not
pretend
the
to be-
2000s.
But I can't pretend to be cool. I just can't. It doesn't work for me. It's worse if I try to be someone who I'm not. So you might as well just lean into it.
They're doing doth my fair lady desire to dance with me and my fellow wizards? Had he leaned into that, I would have kicked him in his throat if we were out in Vegas. Hey, would you like me to cast a spell on you? After we're all hammered. We actually had a really good time, and he full on wore the Wizard Merlin shirt with the magical crystals and stuff all over. It was really brilliant. We laugh about it to this day. That was the gear. Maybe that's a bet we could do.
Merlin shirt?
You probably have one somewhere.
I do not
somewhere
have a
deep
Merlin
in your. I'll
shirt.
talk to you. I'll text your mom. You've got one in
Do
there
not
somewhere.
have a Merlin shirt.
I love it.
I remember when I went to, when I was a kid and we went to Boston for the NBA Finals, we did a Salem tour of the Salem witchcraft. And I had this t-shirt forever that I got bewitched in Salem, Massachusetts. I wore that for like years.
Thing that you had. Dude, I'm gonna wear this out tonight. That is absolutely incredible. I've been to Salem.
You've been to Salem,
course.
Massachusetts, too.
Yeah, we were really, really close there. Saw the whole scene.
Pretty sad part of our history, national history.
Yeah, the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah,
I'd
not
say
good.
so.
Not good, people. Not good at all. All right, we'll come back. The Padres, not only Nick Martinez leaving the club, but another defection from the San Diego Padres yesterday as well. Not on the player side, but on the coaching staff side. We'll get to that coming up and talk about that pitching market that continues to thin out a little bit before the Padres take any action whatsoever. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Sour Ben Woods is brought to you by the Golf Mart. Mentioned earlier, Nick Martinez signed a contract reported late last night with the Cincinnati Reds. 2 years, $26 million, but he wasn't the only defection from the San Diego Padres in the last 24 hours. Ryan Flaherty, who was the bench coach / offensive coordinator under Bob Melvin last season, and was one of the final candidates to become the new manager of the San Diego Padres, is packing up for Chicago, where he's going to become the new bench coach under Craig Counsell, the new skipper of the Chicago Cubs. And bench coach in a real sense of the word, not kind of technicality bench coach, because he wasn't the number 2 to Bob Melvin last year. That was Ryan Christensen.
No, this is a promotion.
This is a promotion.
This is essentially...
He's going to be the number 2, the lieutenant to Craig Counsell in Chicago.
Yeah, we knew this was coming down. I think we talked about it too. Look, when you are either perceived or told that you are the heir apparent, right? You are taking over when this guy leaves. And then that doesn't happen, you're not going to stay. And you're not going to stay and do. And I know it's baseball, and I know there's only so many jobs to go around. And sure, I bet you there have been guys before, Ben, that have overplayed their hand and said, I'll get another gig, and then they end up managing in Visalia or something. You know what I mean? Like, or back down to the minors. But Ryan Flaherty was so highly thought of here that AJ would not let him talk to the Mets the year before. Because, again, you can't talk to the Mets. When he goes, you're in. Well, I think AJ thought Bob would be here a few more years. I think Ryan thought Bob would be here a few more years. Had Bob and Flaherty worked together a few more years, maybe he was the next guy.
You know, things have worked out well for me here eventually, but I do believe that in a lot of cases, you have to leave before you're fully appreciated.
Oh, great. Is this it?
No. This was something I thought about like 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, God. Here we go.
And this doesn't mean that Ryan Flaherty won't come back someday, but to really explore your value and see what's out there, I always wondered, should I have, when I was like, 28 and 29, should I have gone to another TV market at some point? I sent out, tapes and resumes thinking about maybe I should, see if there's something out there in Chicago or Boston or, move up a market or something. But I was always happy here. No, I never got to the stage where I was flying in for an interview, just sent tapes out, looking around, seeing you. I had an opportunity to go work maybe in Los Angeles long ago in radio, and it just didn't feel right at the time, even though it would have been more money. I liked what I was doing here. I liked covering the teams, the people I was working with, and I stayed. And part of me wondered, did I make a mistake? I think in baseball, though, Ryan Flaherty coming up as a coach through the ranks with the Padres here, were you ever really going to make that full leap to manager, to the guy who's in charge of the organization, especially now that, Mike Schilt is the guy?
Again, it's from what I've heard, it's kind of what he was told was the career path. And
it doesn't mean that you were going to get it right now. What is he, 37?
37.
It's not necessarily time yet to be the youngest manager in baseball.
But hang on. All right, so you're the next host after this host retires. Okay, when he's done, you're in. I'm out. So your mind tells you, "Oh, cool, I'm in." No, we're going to bring in Dan Cilio back. You're leaving. You're not staying here to be his number 2. There's no way.
You fully have to expect that expectation. Hey, Bob's going to have a really successful run here. We fully believe Bob Melvin is going to have
3 to 5.
At least 3 years, probably a couple more. He's going to get an extension after we win a World Series or two.
When that doesn't happen.
And when that's done, you'll be the manager in waiting, and he'll retire successfully, and you'll happily move into his chair, and all the fans will be very happy for the continuity that we have. When Bob is out after 2 seasons and a hugely disappointing season, that changes the equation entirely. To just promote a guy who was, right there on the staff as the youngest manager in baseball for a team that needs to, turn things around, that's a different situation. Now, I wondered many years for Brian Dutcher when he was named the associate head coach in waiting under Steve Fisher.
Well, didn't you kind of feel always like he's gone? Somebody's going to make him too big of a deal.
I thought he made a mistake, not actually going.
Really?
And taking another job somewhere. You're just waiting around waiting around. How long is Steve Fisher going to be here? And you are, you're getting into your 50s now, approaching 60, and you still haven't been a head coach at all. You should go to another school, a smaller program somewhere, get a
Start
chance
your
to be
career.
a head
Yes,
coach. You can
yes.
come back. Turned out Brian Dutcher seems very wise at this point to have stuck around and waited for that job. That
You're not
he
joking,
is,
man.
I always thought, and now you got to fill Steve Fisher's shoes too at the end.
He's like, no problem.
That's going to be really hard to do. So, he made the right decision to stick around and wait it out and wait it out and wait it out and become the head coach of the Aztecs. But most of the time, those jobs are few and far between. Those opportunities come up. Now, do you think Ryan Flaherty was under consideration to be Mike Schilt's, number one bench coach lieutenant here in San Diego?
Again, potentially, yes, but also you're not going to. Most people have, some sort of sense of pride. When it doesn't go the way you were told it was going to go, it's okay then to say, all right, I'm going to move on to another organization. It's probably time for a change. I know AJ's probably really bummed to lose Flaherty. The fans, I saw a lot of celebrating yesterday from Padres fans out there. Ryan probably took the lion's share of the offensive blame last year, but again,
just like in the NFL, if the team's not scoring points, the offensive coordinator is going to take.
But in baseball, isn't the offensive coordinator equivalent to hitting coach?
Yeah,
but we also had other
really
we had other guys that helped in that department. But here's the thing, man, you kind of you look at that and say, well, he's no different than any other hitting coach we've ever had here. I mean, how many hitting coaches has this regime run through? A dozen?
Yeah.
Right? Like at least there's been everybody. They're trying everybody. So I think for him, probably a clean slate was best. This is an interesting piece yesterday, just a little kind of a blurb in the UT. But they talked about was that where they talked about people weren't sure if Flaherty now could, as we said 6 weeks ago, is he just one of the guys? And how does just one of the guys manage a Manny Machado, who he knows very well? And is Manny going to be like, sure, Skip, whatever you say, I'm here to do. And should he do that?
Well,
my gut tells me, yeah, man, that's the boss. You should. But they also came up together. Like, it's weird. If you were my boss, I would hate it.
Taking another step, even if he was the right choice for the job, and they would have respected him. Could you have sold Ryan Flaherty to your fan base right now?
Not now.
The youngest manager who was in charge of an offense that was incredibly disappointing last year, and the solution is to make that guy the manager. Even if it was the right decision, you would have had to wear it for a while. Like, we promise you, we know what we're doing here. I mean, it's not a great look for an organization that all they can say is, yes, we understand why this doesn't look great because we didn't have a good year last year, and this is now the guy we're promoting to manager, but trust us, we know we're going to get it right this time with Ryan Flaherty. It wouldn't have been an easy sell. It would have been an impossible sell for a Padres fan base. They would have been anti-Ryan Flaherty, and of course, if he had started winning right away, he would have won everybody over. But, spring training, into the season, everyone's going, oh, this guy is not the guy. This is not the plan that we want. Mike Schilt cuts a much more experienced figure, credible figure as manager with the success that he had with the St. Louis Cardinals. You can say, all right, we're trusting a guy that is worthy of some trust as a manager right now for our ball club.
Our boy C20 Moreno in the chat says Ryan would have been over his skis. I feel the same way. And nothing against Ryan Flaherty. He knows a lot more about baseball than the three of us combined. I've heard nothing but good things about him from guys that played with him. Adam Jones, Skip Schumacher knows him really well, so I've heard good things about Flash before. Manny obviously loves him. And I think the guys love him. They would wear their Flaherty shirts and stuff. He did manage some games for us in an interim manner. Did fine. He won a few, lost a few, whatever. But I remember his post game, and I go, I can't do this for a year. Just selfishly, I go, it doesn't sound. And again, he's the interim manager. He's not polished up and ready to go.
He was like 35 at the time.
Yeah, he's 35 years old at the time, and they're asking him questions, and he's like, yeah, sure.
He just good.
Right. Just it didn't feel managerial to me yet. Not saying he won't get there. I bet you he does.
I thought it was interesting though that he went to go work under Craig Counsell, because I guess it really is like that Brian Dutcher comparison, because Dutch was here for 20 years before he got the job.
Yeah.
You would have thought if you were really in the hunt for a managerial job this offseason, wouldn't it serve you better to go to a place where the manager's a little bit older or towards the end of his tenure there?
I mean, you're young as hell. You're 37 years old, so you can do 10 years with counsel and get a job at 47.
Yeah.
Really. And Chicago's a great city.
How often, though, does really a guy have so much success as manager and then retires as a king and they just give it to the next guy? It's a rare story in sports.
Well, I think it's going to happen in Texas. I'm almost certain it's going to happen in
Texas. It happened for the San Diego State basketball. It will likely happen in Texas with Will Venable under Bruce Bochy. But if that's your plan, like, all right, I'm here for the long haul. We're going to win a bunch of titles, and then I'm going to take over. You know what? If you're a bench coach, you're one of the understudies to 30 jobs in baseball right now.
That's true.
And you know that at least 8 or 9 of them are probably going to come open in the next year plus. And you'll be, if your team does well,
you'll be looked at.
You'll be looked at. You'll be a candidate for one of those other jobs.
Joe Espada ever get a job? Did he get a job somewhere?
Is he the
Astros manager?
He's the new Astros manager, yeah.
I was gone. I was on vacation in L.A. when that happened.
That's why I just said Houston. I'm like, Joe Espada's been there for a while.
Yeah,
and
he's also had 40 interviews, over the years. So, look, I know it's it feels like a win-win. It does. Ryan gets to go manage under Craig Counsell. Win for him. Win for him, win for his career. You're going to a great city, a rabid ballpark. By the way, with allegedly an ownership group that is looking to bring on a Shohei Ohtani. They want that guy so badly in Chicago, which would be great for all of us.
And only knowing the surfacey stuff about Counsell and Flaherty, they feel like very simpatico.
100%. You look at them together, you're like, well, makes sense. So it makes sense. Like, these guys are going to do really well together. So they obviously know each other. They probably played against each other. I think it's a good move for him. And you know what? I think it's a good move for the Padres and Padres fans. I do. Because 95% of Padres fans, maybe misguided, even ill-informed, didn't want him back next year. They didn't. There's about 5% out there that do. I don't know why. Maybe to just be contrarians. But the offense was not good. And I'm not putting it on him. Manny and Xander and Fernandez, those guys are professional hitters who've made a lot of money by hitting. And they didn't hit last yeast. That's not on Ryan Flaherty. It's an organizational thing, and it's a player thing.
And if they do hit this year, it ain't going to be because of the new hitting
coach. Correct.
Also true.
There's processes in place. They're going to do things a little differently. They got to buy in.
We got to check traffic when we come back in a couple of seconds. Nick Martinez, did the Reds underpay, overpay, or do you think we're just about right with the contract he signed overnight? We'll get to that next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air conditioning company. Got a collision now on westbound King Freeway just before the 125. It's got the fast lane blocked. Also getting reports of a vehicle fire southbound side of the 163 right before the 52. That is in the center divide. And we can already check ladder and lanes off of our morning commute bingo card. Westbound side of the 78 before Vista Village in the 2 left lanes. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,100 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
AJ Preller found him pitching in Japan, brought him over to the Padres, where he did a really nice job in a role that changed constantly between the bullpen, starting, long man, even closing a little bit for the San Diego Padres. But now Nick Martinez is a former Padre, signing a free agent deal overnight. ESPN reporting 2 years, $26 million, including an opt-out for Nick after the first season. And his role is expected to be a starter for the Cincinnati Reds next year. That price tag.
Loves an opt-out.
He made an extra. Yeah, God, he loves an opt-out. I wish I loved anything as much as Nick Martinez demands an opt-out in his contract. He made $10 million more than he would have. So you look at that. He fired his agent in the offseason and hired Scott Boras this offseason. Once we saw that news, we went, all right, well, see you later. It's been real. Padres declined the 2-year, $32 million option on him, and now he has signed.
Which that would have been an overpay, since he was willing to agree to $13 million, essentially.
Correct.
So we know that was too much for Nick Martinez.
Wait.
That was Waka that had 2-year 32.
I'm
Did
sorry.
Nick Martinez
No,
also
Martinez.
have? Yeah, he also had 2-year 32.
Martinez opted out of the final 2 years in San Diego. Would have paid him $16 million. Sorry.
Yeah,
After-
his player. No, the Padres had an
Padres had
option
an option.
first at 32, just like Waka. They said no, and then Nick had an option
Eight
where he
years
could have
of
gone $8
million apiece.
each year at a time.
Yep.
That was too low, so he said no, and he ended up right in between those two numbers.
Made an extra $5 million per season.
Right.
He's going to be pitching in Cincinnati. We talked about Emilio Pagan yesterday. Nick is also prone to the long ball. I don't know what they're doing in Cincinnati. Are they moving the fences back in Cincinnati, or are they just paying exorbitant fees for, pretty good pitchers? And I would say that Emilio Pagan and Nick Martinez are pretty good pitchers. You're happy. They're a better team today than they were yesterday. No question about it. Getting Pagan and Martinez, they're way better than they were, in fact. Are they going to have the offense to carry them? I don't know. But their bullpen right now, or maybe Nick is a starter, they've improved their ball club. They've improved their ball club more than we have in Cincinnati.
We're seeing a lot of pitchers going off the market already, though, early. The Cardinals signed 3 of them. The Reds signed Nick Martinez, Emilio Pagan. The Mets yesterday signed Luis Severino, who we thought might have been an option for the Padres on like a 1-year deal.
They signed him.
He got 13 for 1 year.
Million. He had a horrific year.
That felt like a big number for one season, but it's just one season.
I wanted to ask you this. So I saw a great quote from Trevor Plouffe, who works with our pal Chris Rose. And Rosie actually tweeted, he goes, as my boy Trevor Plouffe says, there are no bad 1-year deals. And I sat on that for a while, and I go, the only bad 1-year deal, like the really bad one, isn't it obviously a total underperform, you get hurt, you don't play. Or you play really, really well. You play really, really well, and you're like,
like almost, I can't do better than that.
I am not going to do better than that, and now we can't afford to keep him. He's pitched his way. Now you win a World Series, super. But if you're the Mets, and I guess if you're the Mets, you're still gunning for a World Series. You think that's a good deal or a bad deal? I think for the Mets, $13 million, that's nothing. That's chump change.
Yeah, I mean, if he bounces back, he's happy. He's set himself up in free agency for the next year. The Mets are happy because they got a bargain at $13 million. If it doesn't work out,
and if they're out of it, they flip him at the deadline if they fix him.
Well, and if they don't, they lit $13 million on fire. But Steve Cohen can afford that right now.
I'd like to do a segment on how much Steve Cohen has already lit on fire with the money that they had to eat at the deadline last year, all the guys they moved, the tax that they're going to be paying. I mean, it's in the...
Yeah, the Padres have some bad contracts and, have spent a lot of money. They haven't necessarily lit Eric Hosmer's money on fire.
Yeah.
The last 3 years of his deal.
Still paying him this year. 13 this year.
Yeah, and next year, too.
$26 million for a guy that's...
Right now, that's the only money they've lit on fire. Now, there's talk.
What about Pomeranz?
Will they?
He's off the books, though.
Yeah, they didn't get rid of him. He was injured, so I mean that's bad. That's definitely bad money. I don't know if that's lighting it on fire the way they did with Eric Hosmer. We'll see though. Is Jake Cronenworth's contract? If you try to move him, attach a prospect, that's money lit on fire as well.
Yep.
So we'll continue to talk about it. But the fact that the Padres aren't making any moves
and everybody else
is a little concerning. Maybe not as much flexibility right now for A.J. Preller, it's looking like. We'll come back. More Ben and Woods next on 97.3 The Fan. Just talking about Nick Martinez heading to the Cincinnati Reds, our good friend Annie Heilbrunn tweeting, Nick was a Swiss Army knife for the Padres, truly embraced every role, reliever, starter, long innings closer, piggyback guy with all he had. It is rare, in all caps there, rare, in today's game that guys do that. Came through in clutch moments, worked to unite the team.
Who's saying this, by the way?
Bring guys closer. He cared. Our friend Annie Heilbrunn.
I love our beloved Annie. He's a great dude. Nick was a great guy. He was a great interview. He was a guy that just wanted to win. If you had,
he will be missed.
He will be, man. And if you had a team of 26 guys with that mentality, you'd have won a lot more games than you did last year.
I don't know that. That Swiss Army knife comparison was used a lot because the Swiss Army knife is supposedly a tool you can use for many different things. I had, like most kids,
no, you didn't.
A Swiss Army knife at some point.
I'm surprised
that's shocking.
Could not make it work for anything.
The little scissors?
The little scissors. None of it worked for me.
Hold on.
This is what I wanted to ask. Did you guys have a Swiss Army knife?
Of course.
And did you ever actually use it for anything?
Yeah.
Other than to maybe file your nails once or twice? Oh, the toothpick feature, Woodsy loves.
The toothpick.
Toothpick should be disposable, though.
Pick. Slide it right back in the slot. You hear the little click, and you're good.
That's gross.
I loved just.
I agree.
Here's the best part.
You have tooth
been in your pocket all day.
Here's the best part.
It's disgusting.
You're out in the wilderness. You're on your own. You're trying to survive. You're like, thank God for this. Let me get this little.
Like, I can live because I have a Swiss Army knife.
Right.
No, I'm not. I'm still dying. That's not helping me survive in the woods.
There was a nail file. I never used that.
The little scissors.
There was the big, like the one blade that was like, all right, this is my cutting
Which
blade.
was always really dull.
It was
because
dull.
you never
you
sharpened
could run it across
anything.
your hand.
Nothing's
going
to happen.
The little scissors, which I liked to play with. They didn't cut anything.
Yeah, and they kind of broke, and they were dull too.
Is there a compass on it or no?
No.
I
don't think so.
I had, you know what
the scissors were the worst.
You know what was all the rage? And my parents wouldn't let me get one because, well, they're good parents. Remember the Rambo knives? They had the screw-off top. That did have a compass on the top. And you could walk with your knife. And be like, I'm now going northeast through the woods. But you screwed the top off. And there was like fishing line in there. There was all this stuff they jammed down in the Rambo knife is what we call it.
And there was always that one troublemaker who brought a switchblade to school.
And a butterfly knife was the
called
other.
A butterfly.
My buddy collected knives. So I'd be sitting there in, 7th grade, like trying to do the butterfly
I
knife.
had a buddy that had one, and he.
My buddy had a stiletto.
I was like, I'm not trying it.
Do you remember a stiletto?
How is that different than a switchblade?
So the switchblade goes from bottom to top straight up. The stiletto goes straight up.
Just pops out.
Yep. Hard
like
ass,
a
dude.
pen, like the pen you're holding, except a knife.
Yeah. Hard ass move. I didn't use my Swiss Army knife for much, but Nick Martinez was kind of that. He was. Darren says he lost way more games than he helped save. That's just not true.
No, it's not.
Darren, it's just.
He had a couple of notable blow-ups, but
true.
He did get out of a lot of jams that he got himself into.
He would create. He liked to.
So did the Cy Young winner.
Blake Snell as well.
You know how I know that isn't true? Because the Cincinnati Reds just gave him $26 million.
That's exactly
They
right.
did, I'm sure, a little due diligence.
Darren says he was also more interested in goofing around than being serious about playing baseball.
Nick Martinez?
Do you
Also
watch baseball? True. He was like one of the more intense competitors that we had on the field.
He was hyperactive, especially 2 seasons ago when he was doing the dry energy powder right before every appearance,
just sucking it down.
So he was twitchy for sure, but I think he was interested in winning and competing. Guy was a competitor. Guy still is a competitor. He's just a competitor for the Cincinnati Reds now,
I'll
not
miss
the
him,
San Diego
and
Padres.
Mike makes a good point here. I'll miss him. Dude was willing to do whatever he was asked. He was, and it bothered him behind the scenes because. Like even Matt Strom, we talked to him in when we were out at fantasy camp last year, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, like of course I want to start." Everybody that throws a baseball wants to be a starting pitcher. They do. They make more money. There's more accolades. You get to pitch more. What do you love to do if you're a pitcher? You love to pitch. You love to be out there.
And from everything we heard and that was reported, that was kind of what brought him back to San Diego for the 2023 season.
Correct.
You're going to get that chance to start.
And
he did early on.
The wheels fall off a little bit with the team.
Then we needed some bullpen help.
I didn't like him. I didn't like him in the 8th inning. And that's on Bob Melvin. That's on them. But other than that, Nick Martinez as a swingman type was so good at times.
Again, I made the comparison to my own career with Ryan Flaherty going to Chicago. I'll do it also with Nick Martinez. I've always been hey, do whatever they need me to do,
100%.
whatever time slot. Hey, you need to do this, that, fill in at Channel 10, anchor.
I have too, yeah. Sure.
Whatever they need sort of guy. But you then kind of get pigeonholed sometimes. And I've seen other people who are stubborn and go, nope, I'm only anchoring. I'm not doing anything else. And all of a sudden, they're getting like more respect than the people who are willing to dive in and do whatever it takes.
No
Hey,
doubt.
I just want to help the team. Let me do whatever it takes. And then they say, well, we know that guy will do whatever it takes. But this guy, he's the star. We can't make him do anything else. It's like, well, why wouldn't the guy who does whatever it takes be the star? And this guy who's stubborn and will only do one thing, you should not value him as highly. But
No,
it doesn't always
we're
work that
asking
way.
him to play second base.
Yeah, trust me. Like he wanted to be a starting pitcher. I'm sure he got
Yes.
tired of getting yanked out of the rotation and put back in the pen. You want some continuity. You do. I'm sure Jake Cronenworth was tired of moving from first to second and everything else. You want your position to be yours. You can do the very best that you can at it. Look, a lot more starters got a lot more leash than Nick Martinez did as starters for this baseball team. A lot more starters did. So the fact that he was able to do that, the fact that he was malleable and willing to do it, a manager dreams of a player like that. I'm interested to see how Cincinnati uses him. I would imagine they need starting pitching as well, so I think he's going to be a great fit there. But that ballpark, I bet you his road numbers are better than his home numbers in Cincinnati.
We need a contestant for Real or Fake on a Throwback Thursday. Chance to, last day of November, qualify for our grand prize getaway to Resorts World, Las Vegas. But you need to call now, 833-288-0973. Get in to be our contestant. We will play Real or Fake here in just a couple of minutes. Now, with Nick Martinez leaving, how much urgency does that add to the Padres to get something done? Maybe with
So much.
Seth Lugo or Michael Wacha, or are we in a holding pattern?
You see, the Dodgers are now interested in Seth Lugo.
Really?
Yeah, that's a bummer. Seth was
Well,
great.
why
here.
wouldn't most teams be interested
they
in
should?
Seth Lugo?
They really should. They really,
Nick
really should be.
Martinez making 13 a year. I mean,
Isn't that nuts?
that's the
though?
line. Like, are you really looking to build the rest of your rotation, the other three roles?
Beneath that,
But good luck.
I know.
Good
really,
luck.
really good luck.
I mean, we threw out like Clevenger's name the other day, like a guy like that who had an okay season.
His
an
market
okay
value
season is $14-15 million.
his
now.
market value is like between $15 and $18 million, guys.
I think it's becoming more clear, and we can talk about the new piece in The Athletic from Dennis Lin. That one way or another, the Padres need to know, hey, if we're keeping Juan Soto, then we're going on one path, and it's a much cheaper path for pitching and other options. If we're trading Juan Soto, okay, then we have different options we can have for pitching. But until we know which way we're going, one way or the other, you can't really do anything at this point. You can't sign a bunch of pitchers, on free agent deals and then still think, but maybe we'll keep Juan Soto because, well, you just blew over your budget for the year. But you can't also not sign anyone and watch everyone leave before making a decision. They got to make a decision on Juan Soto. Keep him or trade him pretty fast here. Maybe by
Honestly,
the winter meetings next week.
And honestly, some of the rumblings I've heard from some people that I trust is that exactly. Like, he is the domino, and that needs to be addressed before anything else can be addressed. So if that's true, then we need to get on it.
So essentially, you're saying like that $33 million.
million, yeah.
Let's just call it $30 million for Juan Soto is what's holding us. Like that's all we have to spend.
I still believe that they could
maybe
keep
two
Juan
pitchers.
Soto.
They could keep
They
Juan
could
Soto
keep Juan Soto
and trade
but
for pitching.
It's a completely different plan for the offseason if you keep him.
Yep, there's two plans.
If you trade him, then there's a totally other plan that involves going out and replacing Juan Soto and adding more pitching and using that money. But until you know one way or another, you can't do anything. And you're now falling behind in this offseason race. They have to make a decision on Juan Soto coming up. And we'll talk about that and the new details from the piece in The Athletic a little bit later. Right now, though, we've got some contestants on the line. Let's get to today's game of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Let's see. Is this Grant on the line?
Yes, sir.
Grant, welcome. You are our contestant today on Real or Fake. How are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. Okay, if you can just get 4 out of 7 correct, we will put you into our grand prize drawing for the 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas and 2 tickets to Luke Bryan at Resorts World Theater. Tickets are on sale at rwlasvegas.com. All right, remember last week we had the topic wheel question, and it was, what was the first car you ever drove, I think? And we started talking about
1993 Ford Probe.
we started talking about like bad cars. Well, today's topic, Grant, was inspired by that question. I have a list of the real worst car model names in automotive industry history. I will give you a make and model. You tell me if it is a real car that was once existed and sold on the market, or if it's a fake that I have made up for the purposes of our game. You understand, Grant?
Yeah.
All right, so, and if you want to ask Woods for help, he doesn't know the answers, but he can certainly try to figure them out with
buddy.
you. He is standing by, ready to aid. All right, here we go. Round number 1. The Mitsubishi Lettuce, real or fake?
Ben.
Fake.
That is absolutely real.
What? No, it's not.
It is. Look it up.
The Mitsubishi Lettuce.
The
I think
Mitsubishi Lettuce.
You went to an Onion article.
No, I did not go to an Onion article.
Oh, God. It's not just a bad name.
Oh,
it's an ugly car.
It was real.
Let
All
us
right.
not buy
Yeah.
that.
All right, that is 0 for 1, but we can come back. Here we go, round number 2. The Kia Party, real or fake, Grant? The Kia Party.
What do you think, Woods?
Dang, dude.
now you're thrown off.
If any company was going to name their car Party, I would think it would be Kia. So my gut tells me, I feel like it's a trick question. I'm going to say fake.
Grant, what do you say? We need a final answer.
Okay, I'll go with him and say fake.
Yeah, you got my thought process exactly. If
God.
ever a company was going to name
Kia
their
would be
car
the Kia
the Party, it would be the Kia
Yeah,
Party.
I knew it.
It's not
They
the
never-
Toyota Party.
No,
No.
it's the Kia Party for sure.
Lexus Party, it's not happening.
1-1 is the record. Round number 3. The Isuzu Mysterious Utility Wizard. Real or fake,
More
Grant?
wizard talk on Ben Woods this morning.
Most
The
wizard talk is
Isuzu Mysterious Utility Wizard. The MUW.
I'm going to go with real.
Yes,
Oh
it
my
is real.
My friend's brother drives it. Probably. He knows
All right,
about
you
it.
are ahead now, 2-1 as we go to round number 4. The Toyota Deli Boy. Real or fake?
What?
The Toyota.
Fake.
That's real. Honestly, how could I come up with that if it was fake? That would just be
Some
weird.
guy that brought you a sandwich.
Yeah, they deliver
Deli
sandwiches in the
Boy?
Deli Boy.
Toyota Deli Boy.
Paul is going to look it up.
It's like a van. It
Yeah.
looks like an ice cream truck.
All right, we're 2-2. Comes down to the last 3 rounds here. Round number 5. The Daihatsu Naked. The Daihatsu Naked. Real or fake, Grant?
Bare assets.
What do you think, Woods, on this one?
I feel real. I feel real on that one.
Okay, I'll say real.
That is correct. All right, you are 1 win away from a victory in our game of real or fake. Worst car model names in industry history. All right, round number 6. The Nissan Friend Me. The Nissan Friend Me.
Hey, I'm going to go with Woods again. What do you think? You've been good so
Oh,
far.
let's see. The Nissan Friend Me. I think that sounds fake.
Grant for the win.
Okay, I'll say fake.
Grant, we're going to round number 7 because that one was real. Always comes down to round 7 and real or fake. All right, for all the marbles, real or fake car model name, Grant, the Hyundai Cheapster. The Hyundai
Ben.
Cheapster. Real or fake?
I'm going to ask Woods one last time. What do you think?
Oh,
I'm
you're
going
putting
fake.
it on. You're putting it on
It's
Woods.
fake. It's fake.
Grant, you trust
I'll
him?
say fake.
The answer
I
is Yes, it's fake! Congratulations, Grant. You have won real or fake. Hang on the line. Paulie will get
Clutch,
your information during the break to put you into the drawing for Las Vegas and another 4-3 game of real or fake here on Ben and Woods. All right, we have the Cheapster.
No, I knew that was fake.
But if it was going to be a car, it would be a Hyundai, right?
I don't know. I think they might be a sponsor. So.
Oh, that's fair enough.
The Mitsubishi lettuce.
It's amazing.
What a way to start that game.
No doubt.
My God.
All right, we'll come back with Don't Do This. I have audio from a college basketball coach giving the reason why one of his star players was not in the lineup for his team yesterday that is going to, let's say, surprise you a little bit.
And I think for do this, we should play some audio of the new head football coach who absolutely won his press conference yesterday.
Okay, that's coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 Fan. I know it's Throwback Thursday, and we play the Throwback Don't Do This Open. It's so bad, though. It's
That's why we do
just
it.
so bad.
That's why we do
It's
it.
our punishment. It's our don't do it.
Yeah,
All right, Woodsy, you are up first today.
The No Fun League, a.k.a. the NFL, is back at it again. They're back on their bull S, Ben, as the kids like to say. They have pulled the credentials and suspended for the rest of the year. Not any of the players that, do many, many untoward things. This is a guy named Kevin Fitzgibbons.
Fitzy to his friends.
Fitzy to his friends, guaranteed. Or Gibby to his friends. You
Also.
never know. You never know. Fitzgibby. Pulled his credentials, been suspended him for the rest of the year. He is a 20-year-old photographer. You may not know his name, but you remember the event. Tyreek Hill against Carolina scores, grabs a camera from a guy standing on the sideline, does the backflip, films it. It's amazing content. Incredible. Never seen anything like it.
Technically, though, you're not allowed to use props
Correct.
in your
No props.
celebration.
Correct.
So I'm sure
So-
he got fined for that.
The league did not love it. They penalized Hill for it during the game for using a prop. He got fined for it afterwards. Then the league pulled Fitzgibbons' credentials for the remainder of the 2023 season as well. He posted a video to his TikTok page, said he understood the NFL's decision. He was grateful for the opportunity it gave him. He added that he hoped the league would let him back next year. And Tyreek Hill said, I would comment, but I will get fined. But LeBron James has come out in defense of this young man. He said, man, this is effed up. And was kind of going after the NFL a little bit.
Hopefully this has a happy ending. Obviously,
I love a happy ending.
if Tyreek Hill comes up to a young reporter and goes, hey, can you do me a favor? I know you're on the sidelines during the game shooting. If I score, can you hand me this camera because I want to do this?
Yeah.
What are you gonna say? No.
You're not gonna say no.
Tyreek. I think that's against the rules, and you're gonna get fined. So I'm gonna tell you,
No, you just say,
you
sure.
shouldn't do that. Of course, you're just gonna say, yeah. I mean, what? It gets you in good with Tyreek Hill. You're trying to do your job.
I think they know each other already.
Yeah, I
him and
mean,
Tyreek.
it makes perfect sense
Yep.
to say yes. I hope it has a happy ending, though, in that Tyreek hopefully takes care of him a little bit, and he sounds like he's had the right attitude. Like,
Yep.
okay, I'll accept my punishment, and hopefully I'll be able to get back next year. And if the NFL does allow him back, perhaps not. I mean, there's no reason to suspend him, though.
No, none whatsoever.
There's no one who would have said no to that. I wouldn't have said no to that.
Break.
I follow all rules,
Yeah.
and if I was covering an NFL team on a Sunday, and they said, "Hey, could you do
Give me
this
your-
for
yeah,
me?
flip it for me.
Yeah, I can do that for you, man.
Done.
All right. My Don't Do This story comes from the Louisville basketball team and their guard, Tyler Johnson, whose name is spelled, by the way, Ty-Laur. I've never seen that spelling before.
Ty Lauer.
He is was one of their better players. They were playing against Bellarmine this week, and he was not in the lineup. Only then played 3 minutes in the first half for Coach Kenny Payne. And, of course, Kenny Payne was asked about it afterwards and decided, in a very unusual moment for a coach, full transparency and honesty about, was it an injury? What's going on? Was it discipline? Here's what Kenny Payne had to say about Tyler Johnson and why he wasn't in the game.
You ready for this? I probably shouldn't tell you this. We didn't have the tights that he wanted, so he didn't know if he wanted to play. Oh, yeah. What? You heard it. We didn't have the tights that he wanted, that we've never had for him, and he decided, I don't feel like I can go. That's what young people do.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know. But he figured it out in the second half. He accepted the fact that we didn't have the tights that we've never had for him.
Oh, my
And
God.
he played well. Next.
It's absolutely brilliant. How is that a don't do this? That is a do this.
Well, I
all the
mean,
way.
maybe for Johnson, who was a 4-star recruit out of Our Savior Lutheran School in the Bronx, it's not going to look great for him. He was, so tight, by tights, meaning like those shorts they wear under their basketball shorts.
Some of them wear the long pants, the long tights.
Yeah, the long tights that go underneath the basketball shorts. And the weird thing was, though, as the coach said, well, we never had those kind of tights.
We've never had them.
And now all of a sudden it was an issue because they're already in their like 6th or whatever, 7th game of the season, and you've been playing fine this whole time with our team tights that you have, and all of a sudden now we don't have the right tights and you can't play because of them.
I like to be a level-headed. I try to be a level-headed coach and stuff. But when we get into real baseball, And one of my kids is like, I can't play because I don't have my cleats, the right cleats. I don't have the right batting gloves. I don't have my whatever. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind.
So part of the don't do this for me, though, is maybe the coach shouldn't have said anything. This is more of a behind closed doors.
I thought it was funny as hell.
And honestly, nowadays, Louisville basketball, big-time program.
Big time.
Big NIL money. These kids are making probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands in NIL. Why don't you have someone on staff who's running? You need different tights? We go and get those for you instantly. If you're trying to treat your players well, why would you not have the right kind of tights for the kid? If that's what makes him feel comfortable and play better, why don't you have those tights for him? Don't complain about the kid not wanting to play because you don't have tights. Get him the darn tights that make him feel comfortable.
I need new tights, Adam, just so you know, and I shan't be performing until I get them.
I know you wanted to get into Coach Lewis on Do This.
You want to save it?
Let's save it because Paulie just told us. Got a guest coming up next.
Baseball guy. Big baseball guy.
Former Padres catcher. Former MLB manager with the Detroit Tigers and Anaheim or Los Angeles Angels, and now new bench coach for the New York Yankees. Brad Ausmus is going to join us coming up next about, getting back into the game, taking that job with the New York Yankees. A really smart guy, really good person to talk to, and all of a sudden going to be with the Ben and Woods program coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back. Well, let's get right to it. As promised, just a moment ago, we are joined right now by a guy who spent 4 seasons as the catcher for the San Diego Padres, helping lead the team to the postseason in 1996 and a West Division title. Went on into a coaching career, became manager of the Detroit Tigers, the Los Angeles Angels, and just recently was named the new bench coach of the New York Yankees. We welcome Brad Ausmus back onto the Ben and Woods program here on 97.3 The Fan. Brad, good morning to you.
Good morning. How you guys been?
Doing well, man. I brought The Cure back for a reason. The last time I saw you, we were at the Cure concert together. We didn't go together.
Yeah.
We didn't go together, but you guys sat right next to us. I was not really of sound mind and body that night, but I really had a really good time hanging out with you guys watching that incredible band. They slayed it that night.
That was impressive. I had actually never been down to what's the venue called down there?
Amphitheater? Yeah, down in Chula.
That was
North
that
Island,
was impressive.
North Island Credit Union.
It's had many names over the years.
It'll have a new name in 6 months.
Yeah, don't get attached to this one either. You know, I had forgotten, or maybe I never knew, because I remember when the Padres acquired you, they got you from the Rockies, but the Rockies had taken you in the expansion draft. You actually were drafted and came up in the Yankees organization. So this is like a homecoming for you after all these years. What's it like to return to the pinstripes now?
It's all right. I haven't quite put my pinstripes on yet, but it's kind of neat. You know, full circle. I guess I was drafted in '87, so what's that? 35 years later, almost.
What does the bench coach do?
I was wondering about that too.
Listen,
I've always heard they're supposed to be like the bad guy in
I heard
the
it's the other way.
Is it the other way?
I heard it's.
I thought you were the enforcer, like for the manager who got to be the good guy nowadays.
Aren't you now? You're going to be. Aaron Judge is going to be coming to you and going, Brad, or whatever they're going to call you, Aussie. This guy's killing me.
They go with Aus.
This guy's killing me right now, man. He's killing me. Hey, just relax. You're good. I always pictured. I know there's more to it. A lot of back slapping. Hey, let's go. Let's get it ready. You got to hit some fungos. Whatever. Like,
which is it?
What do you do?
You're on the right track. I mean, at times the bench coach is kind of that go-between with the manager and a player. Sometimes trying to soften the blow for the player, and sometimes trying to make the manager aware of things that might be going on in the clubhouse that he may want to address or might want to talk to a particular player about something. So that is part of the job. I think a big part of the job is being prepared, both pre-game and in-game. You know, you got to make the manager aware of potential moves that might be coming up or players that he might want to have ready. And then, of course, if he wants that particular player ready, then it's my job to go down and say, hey, get loose. You might hit here.
Now, I like that.
Obviously, Brad, you spent several seasons as an actual manager, but I've always thought there was probably a little bit of a thrill knowing, hey, if Boone gets tossed, and he gets tossed quite a bit,
you're going to be
you get to step in and get to manage the New York Yankees, which is cool.
So many.
Yeah, that's what I told him during the interview process. I told Booney that really, I'm probably going to manage about 10% of the games.
Easily. Yeah, easily.
How much of they always say, well, he's just right up the tunnel yelling out the instructions. When you got tossed, like, do you go and sit in your office and have no communication? Are you like on a phone or somehow secretly still communicating with your bench coach what you want to happen in those last innings? How does that work?
Banging trash cans or something?
No, I just go up and I watch it on TV. When I was in Detroit, I got tossed a number of times over the 4 seasons I was there, and Gene Lamont was the bench coach, and he had managed the big league level, so I would just go upstairs and watch the game on TV and let Gene Lamont handle it. And in Anaheim, I only got thrown out once. I think it was the 9th inning, so it wasn't really a big deal. But no, I'm not pulling the puppet strings. I just let the bench coach deal with it.
Excellent. We are talking to former Padre Brad Ausmus, now the bench coach for the New York Yankees here on Ben and Woods this morning. And again, thanks for jumping on with us on short notice. Really appreciate it. Wanted to ask you this, a couple things. You've been in baseball a long, long time. I'm sure you've run across Mike Shildt, have heard about him. What is your kind of take on what are the direction of the Padres now with Shildt at the helm?
I actually don't know Mike that well. We have crossed paths and said hello. I can't remember if we overlapped when I was in Detroit and he was in St. Louis or not, but we've definitely crossed paths. But truthfully, I do not know him that well. He is not in my contacts on my phone.
I have him in mind now, so that's fine. I got one up on you. Well, let me ask you this then. So, as a former manager, right, and you've been with a couple of different organizations, the off season's always a weird one. Now, I know every organization's different. I know that we're in a different position because we have a new manager. Your GMs that you've worked with in the past, what was that relationship like as it came to acquiring players, or I guess getting rid of players? Any guys ever traded out from under you where you're like, bro, what are you doing? Like, we needed that guy. That's one I'm high on. Was there a lot of communication about the current roster and rosters to come?
Yeah, there was. The three general managers I worked for kept me in the loop and really kept the coaches in the loop as well. Dave Dombrowski was the first general manager, Al Avila, and then Billy Epler up in Anaheim. So all three of them kept me in the loop and usually kept the coaching staff in the loop and often solicited their opinion on a particular player if that coach or I had any history with them or had any information about them.
It feels like we're talking to Brad Ausmus here. It feels like there's a lot of either Padres players or coaches who are managers. And maybe it feels like that in every clubhouse. But I mean, you were Mark Kotze's bench coach with Oakland in 2022. Obviously, Phil Nevin was a manager with the Angels. Boch is back in the league again, winning World Series because it's really easy for Boch. And I don't know why it's so easy. Maybe you can explain why is it so easy for Boch to win World Series. But all these Padres are all over the place, Brad.
Yeah, it seems like it though. But you know, it's funny. You could pick any team and they'll tell you the same thing. Oh, we've lost players. Now they're doing well at other places, or they're coaching or managing other places, and that's just the nature of baseball. There's so much movement nowadays that at some point, people in the game wear a lot of different uniforms, and they end up somewhere else, and they have success, and then the microscope gets bigger.
You did play. You played for rookie manager Boch, right? Like young, fresh-faced Bruce. Well, I don't know if Bruce was ever fresh-faced, but you played for young Bruce Bochy and have seen over the years his development. I mean, it is pretty incredible what he's now still able to accomplish.
Boch is the best. Actually, when I first got traded to the Padres, Boch was third base. He was third base coach. Yeah, he was third base coach for Rig, and then he took over, I think, that off season, and Boch was great. I still have vivid memories of making a base running mistake at Qualcomm, and then a week later making the exact same mistake against the exact same team at Dodger Stadium. And Boch, he let me have it in the dugout when I got back. I still have a vivid memory. It's like a video running through my head that him not being too happy with it. But he's the best. I still, I vacation occasionally with Boch, and I know him very well. He's great.
That's amazing. I got to ask too. Like, this is it's a big undertaking. It's across the country. It's New York. How did the family take this news when you said, "Hey, guess what? Got a call and got an interview. I'm off to New York."
You know what? So my kids are out of the house. I have two daughters, and one of them lives in New York City.
Oh, perfect. Oh, wow. That's fantastic then.
So that's good. And ironically, the other one lives in Northern California, not too far from where I was when I was with Mark Kotze in Oakland. So I spent a season up there near her and got to see her. And now I'm going to spend a season in New York, and my older daughter's there. So I don't think anyone really even blinked at this.
You just got to be fair with each of your kids. Now, you took last year off, though. What was that like? And was it a situation of, I got to get out of the house, or, someone needs to get me out of the house, I just can't do this for too long? Or was this really like, I would have only come back for the right opportunity and this was it?
You can only play so much golf with Mark Loretta, I would imagine, before it's time to
I don't. Well, I'm not dumb enough to play golf with Mark.
Yeah. Nobody, you shouldn't be, because he will whip your ass up and down the course.
You know what? So I have a place in Cape Cod, and we spent the summer in Cape Cod drinking margaritas on the beach. It's a lot of fun. It just doesn't pay well.
Yeah.
It doesn't. True. No, it doesn't. It costs you money. And the Yankees do pay a little bit better from what I've heard. Certainly. Well, that's awesome, man. Really wanted to wish you congratulations. Thanks for jumping on with us this morning. And I know you're excited about the season. I know, look, it's weird to say Padres and Yankees were two of the highest spending teams last year. Didn't work out for either of them. Both of them have their work cut out for them. But I know you're excited to get in there. And so what's the next step? Will you just head out to spring training in a couple months or whatever?
Yeah, I'm in the process of kind of getting onboarded now with the Yankees. Every team has their own system, and so I'm in the process of doing that because I just got hired. And then, there'll probably be a meeting that I have to go to prior to spring training. But yeah, once we get into the second week of February, so that's when it's every day.
Well, enjoy. I know they're going after some big-time free agents. That should be very exciting. Brad?
Going after some guys that are already under contract for a year left.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that as well. Yeah, there's some rumors. The
Super
guys
fun.
who played here last year as well. Brad, good luck. Appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thanks. Good talking
Thanks,
to you.
bud.
All right, Brad Ausmus, new bench coach for Aaron Boone in the New York Yankees. I like that line. Hey, I'm going to be managing about 10% of the games.
Yeah, you'll get 16 games in. Yeah.
Because you just can't keep yourself in these
How many
ball
times
games.
did he get run last year? Like 13 times?
We got to set an over-under on that.
He'll get 10. He'll over 10.
At least 10.
Over 10.
Yeah.
And that's standard. Manager goes, bench coach, manager. Right?
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
standard
Yeah.
operating procedure.
Yeah.
All right.
Brad is stepping into his shoes every time he gets tossed from a game next season.
I'd be like rooting for you to get
tossed. Yeah. No,
you
of
would
course.
be, you as the bench coach, me as the manager, you'd get to manage 75% of the games.
I was surprised how laid back he said, no, I got tossed. I went and watched the game on TV.
Just chilled.
Didn't have no opinion. Wouldn't you be like going, yeah, I hope they get this guy up in the bullpen, and I had this plan in my mind, and you just
They know the plan.
let it go. Yeah,
They know the
shared
plan.
the plan
Yeah.
with everybody before the game started.
Yeah, it's not like it used to be. Everybody knows the plan. So,
all right, let's take a quick traffic check. We'll come back. You mentioned the Juan Soto, trade talks with the Yankees, and we got a new piece that dropped this morning from The Athletic involving Juan Soto as well. We'll get to that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Fire crews had put out that encampment fire south on 163 before Park Boulevard. It was over to the right shoulder. Might still see a little residual slowing. And traveling on eastbound 905 past Caliente, two-car collision in the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So add the name Dennis Lin to the growing chorus of writers. Mostly have been national. Ken Rosenthal, John Heyman, Jeff Passan, who believe that a Juan Soto trade is imminent. And under the headline, Juan Soto has likely played his final game for the Padres. The reasons are many. Dennis wrote this morning in The Athletic, similar to what we've seen in other pieces, basically doing the math and going, Padres want a payroll of $200 million to keep Juan Soto. It's almost impossible for them to fill all the other holes that they have. So he's certainly going to be traded, or almost certainly going to be traded.
So this isn't new news. It's the same.
It's really kind of the same stuff
that
laid out.
Does it make you guys nervous that it's a local guy writing it instead of?
It's a scary headline.
It's a local guy writing it instead of Ken Rosenthal, beating that drum. I feel like it's coming. I'm bracing myself. I am. I'm mentally preparing myself. I'm going to go get a massage today to try to relax and unwind and not think about the trade and the tweet that's coming imminently.
I think one thing that Dennis wrote in this piece was that essentially any talks with Scott Boras, they're going nowhere right now. Scott Boras really wants to take Juan Soto to free agency at the end of this year.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Of course. And if that is truly the case, if AJ Preller has gone, Scott, let's try on something here. Let's go. And Scott's kind of hemming and hawing and going, well, we'll listen, but we really want to look at that open market. If for that reason, more than clearing payroll, more than trying to get under $200 million and filling your pitching holes, the biggest reason to trade Juan Soto would be that you don't really have an opportunity to sign him to a long-term extension.
Correct.
Because then you're losing another player for essentially nothing at the end of next season.
Compensatory pick.
Which, this
Not
year...
if you're going in and trying to win a World Series in 2024 or 2023. Yeah, 2024.
Right.
But there does exist a time frame after 2024 that you're hoping to be competitive and good. And if you can acquire players that will aid you in being a better team in 2025 and 2026 and 2027.
That's the Padre way, though. That's when we first started this
The window was 2019.
But
right.
But they never did that with a $200 million payroll. It's different when you have a $14 million payroll and you trade your $5 million player for prospects and go, hey, we're building for the future, that's a lottery ticket. That's like saying, well, maybe if they all work out, we'll have a miracle in 7 years. This is, we know we've got good players. We know we've got a good team, but we also need depth, and we need to fill it out in these next couple of years. And one way we can do it is by trading Juan Soto.
It's such a there's going to be part of the fan base that gets it. There's going to be a part of the fan base that hates it. There's going to be a part of the fan base that doesn't care. And
I think you can be a combination.
But there's also going to be a part of the fan base is like, I don't want to watch the Padres anymore. We're doing this again. We're repeating the cycle, even though it may be the most prudent decision. Taking him out of your lineup, I don't know. I mean,
you can get it and hate it.
You can get it and hate it, and that's how I'll feel. I'll totally understand. I will, and I may even like the return that we get. I may say, "Ooh, yeah, very nice," but I will still hate the fact that he's not, in the 2 or 3 hole next year and is going to be playing somewhere else. It will definitely bug me. There's no question about it, and it will probably hurt us for years to come. Can't really worry about that. If you make that move, make it a strong one. And you got to kind of lie in your bed. There's just the Padre fans have been having to lie in their bed a lot, and that's unfair. And it is what it is. You're going to eat it. You're going to eat it, or you're not going to eat it. You're going to push away from the table and say, "I'm not eating it anymore." And that's your right.
In the chat says it'll feel like a fire sale.
It will immediately.
It won't be a fire sale.
It won't be
but
because
it will definitely. That is perfectly said.
It will feel like one.
Dennis writes, because Soto remains highly unlikely to sign an extension. Exchanging the outfielder for multiple big league ready players might be the most logical decision the Padres can make. Now, the problem with that is if all the other teams also believe that Juan Soto is highly unlikely to sign an extension, right, that's going to hurt that trade value as well. You can get more from a team that believes they're going to sign him long term. If they know, hey, we're trading for Juan Soto, and within 5 days, we're signing him to a $517 million deal that he's going to be with our franchise for the next, 15 years, you can stomach giving up a lot of your top prospects. You know what you're getting. You're getting a decade plus of one of the best baseball players on earth. When you know he's going to free agency and you have no advantage over the other 29 teams in signing him once he gets there, going to be a little harder for teams to give up bigger prospects in that case.
There's all kinds of things you can call it. You can call it a retool. You can call it a reshape. Because when you have essentially your 1, your 2, and your 3 hitter locked down, and they're pretty good. That we do. We still have Manny. We still have Xander. We still have Tatis. 10 years ago, Ben, that would have been enough. But things changed, and now to be able to to lose Juan Soto, no matter who you get back, it's going to be tough. I mean, I've seen fans say, "Bro, if you trade Soto, I'm not watching anymore." I don't believe that. I think you will come back because I do think that team can win. It sounds dumb to say, but there's actual evidence of it. Teams lose superstars and do really well. Now, in this case, Bryce Harper was traded from the Nationals. They won a World Series, mostly because of Juan Soto, who's now a San Diego Padre and pretty soon to be on another team, I would guess. Ronald Acuna Jr. went down. The Braves won the World Series. It can be done. Padres had their best run in a long time when Fernando went down.
Harper wasn't traded.
Free agent?
He was free agent.
Yeah,
free agent. Left as a free agent. Whatever. You know what I'm saying. He leaves, they win a World Series. They never won one with him. He leaves, they win one. It absolutely can happen. I don't think either of those cases were addition by subtraction. Like he was such a D that now you're freed up to win. I don't think that's the case. It can happen. You know why? Because it's baseball.
Bill Simmons is often called the Ewing theory. Sometimes the big star, for whatever reason, even if they're great, sucks up all the air a little bit, and it's harder to put together a good team. Now, Padres already have lots of big stars. I'm not sure that applies.
There's no air in that room anymore, to be honest with you. There's so many big stars.
I'll give some credence to the argument that a team that was built around 4 big stars is not the best way to create a ton of chemistry. And maybe it's a better strategy to go with a team, take away a star, add more depth. I mean, there's not many ways to do that. I totally get that, and I understand losing Juan Soto is going to hurt. But it doesn't necessarily mean the Padres are going to be a worse team next year.
No.
In fact, I'd be surprised if they didn't win more games, even without Juan Soto, than they did this last season. All right, we'll come back. It is a Throwback
Gotta
Thursday.
have more than 2 pitchers to win more than 82 games.
That's
Exactly.
why you trade Juan Soto to get
Oh,
more
God.
pitching
He
as
just
well.
said it on the record.
That's why you would. All right, we got a Throwback Thursday next on the Fan.
Halfway home on a Thursday, November 30th. 30 days, half September, April, May, and November.
No.
June.
May
April,
has
June.
31
April,
days.
June, and November.
I prefer.
Right?
Yes, 30 days has September.
So last day of
April,
November.
June, and November. I like the knuckle method. Have you ever done that? So if you want to know which...
Whoa.
If you want to know which months have 31 days, put your fists together like this.
Hardly know her.
And every month you go is a knuckle. When there's a knuckle, like start with January and the left
Like
one.
knuckle deep.
Those have 31. So January, yes. February, no. March,
Hold on. Do it again.
All right. So January is the left knuckle.
Okay.
Fister? Yeah, absolutely.
Start there. That's 31 days.
Okay, then 30.
Then February
No,
is
it's 28.
but it's not 31.
You just have to know that one.
March, yes, knuckle 31.
April,
no, 30.
May,
yes, 31.
June, July.
June, no, yes. July, yes.
August.
And August together, those two knuckles in the middle.
September,
no. October, yes. November, no. December, yes.
What's this extra one?
No, you don't need
leap year.
Yeah, Smarch.
I don't prefer the knuckle method. I like the poem. 30 days, Dave. Half
You
September.
can't say it, though.
30
You get
days,
it wrong half the time.
September, April, June,
and
November. Today is the last day of November. That's a long-winded way of getting to that point. By the way, we will have for you guys the tier ones. We needed a freshening up in our merch store. We really did. And talked to a buddy of ours, Michael Shin, who is immensely talented graphic designer. And I asked him, come up to the studio. We'd love to hang out with you. Watch us for a bit. And the dude came in here yesterday. You might have seen him on the stream. Over there diligently working on his computer. He was here for about an hour and 10 minutes. In that time, he ripped off 5 new Ben & Woods logos. So we are going to be freshening up the merch store. As soon as he gets those over to Paulie's going to get them all loaded up in the merch store so you can get your favorite tier 1 in your life. They're so cool. The logos he did are outstanding. He's brilliant and excited for you guys to see those. So we'll send out a tweet and all that. But you can go to the link in our bio on any of our social media and find it. But I'm so happy to get that thing freshened up because we were in desperate need, Ben, of a cleansing.
Yeah,
and we got it.
For sure.
We got it. And it looks really, really good. So you guys will have some new stuff to choose from. Thank you so much to Michael for doing that for us because we can't do it. We are incapable of it.
We have a number of giveaways here in the second half of Ben & Woods, including, as we've been teasing, more Rolling Stones tickets. If you know the Daily Ditty song later, be ready to call in for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Stones in concert at SoFi Stadium next summer. We've also got Aztecs Tritons tickets for their game on Friday night at Lion Tree Arena to give away. And, of course, we'll call another name in our biggest fan contest, qualify someone for a suite night at the Padres game in our Odyssey suite next season. So all of those things coming up in the next 2 hours here on a Throwback Thursday.
Turn your mics off for a sec. Okay. I don't know the answer to that question, so I don't want to embarrass him on the air, so I won't do it. I'm talking about Adam, of course. I'll get the answer, and then I'll bring it to you guys.
Yeah, I haven't got 100% confirmation, so we will
he should be here in a minute, so we'll find out.
For sure. All right, Throwback Thursday. Paulie always likes to dig into our archives and come up with something that happened either on this date or on this week. Sometime in the last 6 years now of Ben & Woods. We're nearing our 6-year mark together, correct?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. We didn't have to go back that far for this week's Throwback Thursday clips. I found a couple of different clips, and they were both from this week last year. So 1 year ago yesterday, one of my favorite moments in show history when Ben, it's always fun when Ben just drops something casually that, I was on the chess team. Like, that makes sense, but I did not know that.
The chess team.
Debate team.
Debate.
You were
not
a
on the
master
debate team.
debater.
You were on the
not quiz bowl team, academic team.
Same thing. Back in
I did.
Quiz Bowl.
I did.
And on November 29th.
It's a little Aladdin's lamp symbol, if you really do want to know. And I had a little pair of golf clubs for being on the golf team as well. Very cool.
November 29th.
Maybe the coolest thing I've ever heard.
2002. We were mid-conversation.
Hey, would you go on a date with me? This is my wish. No? All right. My lamp's not working.
All right, let Paulie finish here.
We were mid-conversation. this time last year when Ben dropped this little nugget out of nowhere.
You know the Blue Moon song that I referenced? That one?
Yeah.
For some reason, I made it my mission to be able to sing that one, the doo-wop version of that.
Right now.
Go ahead and turn that down.
All right, everyone.
Bump it a bump it a bump it a bump bump it a dang it a dang it dang it a dang a ding a dong ding blue moon blue moon blue moon dip to dip to dip blue 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 moon dip to dip to dip blue 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 moon dip to dip bump it a bump it a bump it a bump bump it a dang it a dang it a dang it a dang a ding a dong ding blue moon.
I can't even look at him. I did not look at him one time.
I don't know why.
I looked down. I
I
had to look away.
I had to look away. It's the greatest. It's phenomenal.
Maybe the single greatest moment.
So good.
Ben and Woods
He just
history.
threw it out there too. Like he unzipped his pants and was like, "Check this out.
Hey,
Look at this.
Done it
Hey, everybody."
I've done it in the car about 17,000 times, so I thought, why not just do it on the show for once?
And like I said that day, you were probably what, 14, 15?
Yeah.
I had different missions at 14, 15 than like that. I need to get this down. No, I'm not going to go with you guys. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be working on my Blue
You guys are
Moon.
going to the mall with girls.
I got to get this down today. That was your mission. Different missions.
Bump it a bump it a bump it a bump bump it a dang it a dang it dang it a dang it ding a dong ding blue moon blue moon blue moon dip to dip to dip blue 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 moon dip to dip to dip blue 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 moon dip to dip to dip bump it a bump it a bump it a bump bump it a dang it a dang it dang it dang it ding a dong ding blue moon.
The Ben Quartet.
I think I sounded better on my own, actually.
I think so too. Yeah, it's that damn auto tune that Paulie put on there. God, that ruled.
And then,
It's one of those things too, where like you're planning a show together. That shouldn't have taken 5 years to come out. That needs to be like a year one. Like, oh, by the way, I did tell you guys when I was a kid, I used to really. That's an easy one.
I want to save things. I
You
plan
really
to be
do.
together with you for decades to
Yeah.
come. I still have lots of mysteries that you haven't found out about.
You're joking.
yet. Well, I may be. I don't know. The thing is, every time I reveal something, I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal.
You think it's just
it's
normal.
Woods who always thinks, "Oh, how could you have not said that?" I go,
the best.
I don't know. It just seemed normal to me.
I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. That was great.
So 1 year ago today, we got another clip here. This was weird and fun. We had in sports with the World Cup happening in Qatar. Typically the summer World Cup couldn't do that because it's like 140 degrees. So they moved it to November.
What is this? An Aztecs football game? My goodness.
So they moved it to November, and we decided to give our best goal calls. And we wanted to see who could go the longest. And didn't go well for one of us.
I thought the odds makers were probably putting me as the favorite in this game. It's not how it turned out.
Yeah, we did promise our Telemundo style goal call. Just one long goal, and basically we're going to see who can last longer, right? This is a last longer competition.
Well, I mean, for yelling goal, yes.
All right, Paulie, so why don't you play the lead up, and then we'll give you a 3, 2, 1. Back away from the mic for a second, and we'll go for it when the timer's ready. So,
Ready? Here we go.
Robinson, back for the captain, Tyler Adams. Weston McKinney, Des making a big run. It's meant for him. Des is stuck in behind. Des into the middle. Pulitzer!
Ben's out.
Paulie's out.
Wow, Woods! Still going. Woods 1, Paul 2, Ben 3. You got some lungs on you.
Could have gone all night.
I was
Could have gone all night long.
Had you ever done that before?
No.
You think that was just a one shot and you nailed it?
I almost passed out. I remember.
Yeah, I was losing a little.
I
bit
knew. I
right
could
there.
see. There was no way I was beating you. I could feel I was dying. I was like, there's no point in going on here. Woods looks like he's got another 20, 30 seconds in him. I've got like 5 tops
You're
if
welcome,
I really stretch it.
Mrs.
So.
Woods. You are welcome.
What do you mean?
He said, I've got another 30 seconds in me. Easily. There's a B-Dub just sent us a picture, by the way, of his daughter crying, laughing over your blue moon. She is literally in hysterics right now in the car.
This is why we do Throwback Thursday. Not
Bump
everyone...
bump 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 dang 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 ding dong ding blue moon
She's
moon.
Crying. Dip, dip, dip. It's so
Dip dip
good.
dip.
Well, yes, many of you have probably heard that before. There are others who this is brand new content for out there.
Oh, man, it never gets old to
What
me.
else can you sing?
Yeah, what else? Give me another nugget about yourself.
I mean, I can't do the Doobie Brothers. We tried.
Tried that
I do not
too
have
many
the
times.
falsetto. We can't go high. So
Right.
you really have to keep me down in the lower octaves.
But what are some other nuggets that we haven't heard yet?
Well, they'll come out as they come out.
guess
you
they
can't
will.
just can't force this.
Yeah.
Dip 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 blue moon. Dip dip bump bump dang 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 ding dong ding. Blue moon.
Will you do that at karaoke sometime? The whole thing?
Sure.
All right, good.
Yeah.
God, that would slay.
Sure.
That would slay.
All right, let's take a time out. We're going to check traffic. We got giveaways coming up. Do not go anywhere. Woods, you wanted to get to on do this, the hiring of the Aztecs' new coach yesterday.
Yeah, he was really good. Your counterpart, maybe your competition, Todd Strain, put together a little clip that's really good of some of the catchphrases from the coach's first day.
These are all on the same day.
Same day, man. Yeah, guy won the press conference yesterday, just like Mike Schilt did. I thought both of these guys. Now again, they're going to be judged on their win-loss record, as coaches should be. But really, really nice first day for him.
I had more of a mixed reaction
Did you?
from what I heard, but then I started reading more about Sean Lewis, and I was going, okay, we'll talk about the new Aztecs football coach. His introduction to San Diego coming up next after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. We're back.
Black Betty, damn a lamb. Sorry.
What's
Had to get it out.
his one rule on the ramp ups?
Don't talk over Black Betty.
Do not interrupt the lead in to Black Betty. All right, welcome back. I will say that I was unsure about the hiring of Sean Lewis when it was announced. Wasn't one of the names.
I thought you were excited about it.
I was not. Maybe I faked it a little bit yesterday. I was not. He was not one of the names that had been discussed beforehand.
Okay.
I like that he was, from the offensive side of the ball, but I really wasn't sure what was going on with Dion's team. The slow finish.
You kind of poo-pooed an opinion from fans that, fans that are saying, well, I mean, Colorado just lost 6 straight and he got his play calling duties revoked, which is exactly how I felt.
I didn't want to put too much into that either.
Because of who his boss is? And it's Dion.
I think that's an entirely fair way to feel when you saw that hire.
I think it is.
Wait, what?
I know some fans felt that way. I didn't want to go too far in that direction, but I also was just a little bit unsure. Now, yesterday, I'll tell you what changed my mind, and we'll get to some of the audio from his news conference. Woods, you like the audio.
I did,
you like what he said a lot.
I thought he was really good.
I started reading what other people were saying about him. And first, you expect the people he worked with, like Dino Babers at Syracuse. I mean, just gushed about the guy, how smart, how hard, how hard of a worker, how great he is with the players. And then I started reading like people who covered Colorado going, "It's a mistake to let this guy get away."
Yeah,
this is,
I saw a lot of that.
Say, that's a great hire. People in college athletics who are just kind of coming out of the woodwork, just to say, like on Twitter yesterday, wow, this was a great hire for San Diego State. Haven't seen him come out, with other schools and go, wow, that was a great hire for Oregon State. That was a great hire for Texas A&M. But they're all going, I think this was a slam dunk, absolute huge hire for San Diego State. So people who know more about the college football world than I do seem incredibly high on Sean Lewis now. So I have kind of come around in the last 24 hours to start feeling excited about the possibility. More than just, hey, the offense is obviously going to be more fast-paced. We know that's a good thing. They needed more excitement.
A win. It's just already a dub.
It's got to come with wins. It's got to come with victories if you're going to really sustain it. And everyone says this guy has what it takes to sustain it and be successful. I also saw the details of the contract, which I kind of liked. Because, we talked about yesterday how, if he leaves, in a couple of years, great. You've done something good if you're hired away, but do you just lose all the good that's come? So, yes, he can leave for other jobs, but if he does before, I think 2026, he owes the school a lot of money. I mean, they're protected kind of in that sort of way. It's a 5-year deal, but he can't just up and leave after a season and leave San Diego State in the lurch. I think he'd owe $5 million to the school if he leaves after next season.
So it feels a little bit more than, a year or two.
Just like he's going to be like Brady Hoke was the first time. Remember, Brady Hoke was only here 2 years the first time around.
That being said, what if he lights the world on fire and somebody comes calling? They're like, don't worry.
They'll pay that money. They'll pay it and it'll go.
It still happen.
But then you have the ability, the resources to go out and hire another, hopefully good coach after that. So you like the news conference, though. I thought the beginning, I was a little unsure. He was sounded a little nervous to me, as anyone would be in a situation like that. But I'm going, hey, you're a football coach. You got to command a room.
I
wasn't sure he was commanding a room, but he kind of started getting into it later, and you liked how he finished.
Yeah, Todd put all this together. I thought this was really well done.
Rick Ross, Purple Lamborghini. Proper space in place. You guys were surfing on Thanksgiving, and I was shoveling on Thanksgiving, right? Your roster needs to be made up of whole foods, ripping and roaring, confidence and conviction. We'll wake this monster up and get this thing rolling.
I love it. I love just that little clip. You know me, man. Coach Speak will get me. I'm bought in. I buy in on Coach Speak. Dion, great Coach Speak. Mike Schild, great Coach Speak.
I think
Phenomenal.
there is there's a line, though, because you also have to have authenticity.
Sure.
You can't just spew lines and cliches. Well, Ted Lasso has great lines.
Yes.
But there was that, I know he's a fictional character, but there was that authenticity behind it.
100%.
That made everyone feel for
authentic.
that character. I just want to make sure that those lines come with that authenticity as well. And when I was reading about him, that convinced me that, okay, he doesn't just, sound the part, and he doesn't have a good offensive scheme, but he's got that authenticity, that way to make a connection with his players. He's done it other places. People who have seen it up close have said, oh yeah, he's got it. Whatever it is, he's definitely got that skill that you need to be a successful coach.
Yeah, for sure. And again, really hard worker. I love the story that was going around how he played a recruit on PlayStation, played Madden against a recruit for 2 hours and beat him, and the recruit's like, fine, all right. Like, it's just connection. They were talking about the connection, and that's important, man. If your kids are being recruited, you want a place where you feel like they're going to be taken care of, and he seems like that kind of guy. Again, Shedeur Sanders, Shedeur gets dragged through the media for a lot of the things he does. He couldn't have spoken more highly about somebody than this guy.
Yeah. Now, you need players. You need a quarterback in particular right away. And the transfer portal is open.
It's wide open.
Go out, find a quarterback. Now, Matt Rule, who is the head coach at Nebraska, had some comments yesterday where he said the going rate right now for a good transfer quarterback in the portal, he said, is $1.5, $2 million. $1 to $2 million to convince a decent quarterback to leave the school they're at right now and come play for your school. I don't know that San Diego State has that kind of
That's a decent quarterback,
money.
by the way. Not
That's
a good.
It's a decent quarterback. He said the best players right now in college football are making $6 to $7 million a year in NIL money.
Which, by the way, I think is great.
That's phenomenal for them.
It's a completely new game than it was
but it's
5 years ago.
It's also pretty bad for San Diego State.
It is.
They're not going to be able to pay $6 to $7 million. They're not going to be able to pay $1 to $2 million for a quarterback to come in. So you're going to have to find a quarterback who is not really,
which you can,
someone that's on a lot of radars, that's getting a lot of NIL interest, and you're going to have to turn him into one of those good quarterbacks and then risk losing him in the transfer portal to a place that's willing to pay him big money in a year or two. That is the constant struggle now that San Diego State, as a non-member of the Power Five, as not one of the schools that has big money, is going to face. Because if you have a great player, the best case scenario, well, then they're going to be offered tons somewhere else. We're seeing it with basketball already. They were lucky to keep Lamont Butler after that run to the Final Four. It took, he turned down a lot of money. They couldn't keep Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn Johnson's been killing it with Arizona.
Has he been
far.
doing well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, money well spent for us.
Large six figures to go over there. They couldn't compete with that. They lost a great player because of the money.
Well, so San Diego State head coach Sean Lewis has already offered Indianapolis Cathedral quarterback Danny O'Neal a scholarship last night. He's been one of the Midwest's top signal callers the last 3 seasons. In his time as a starter, he's won a state championship. He's thrown for almost 8,000 yards. And get this, 98 touchdowns, completing over 62% of his attempts. O'Neal has also rushed for about 1,300 yards and 27 more touchdowns. That's a dynamic type player that could get the casual fan such as myself to go, I'm watching this game. I may even go to this game to see this kid play.
And I'd imagine one of the things that sold J.D. Wicker on Sean Lewis, a few things. He talked a lot about, the academics, the personal development. That's important at San Diego State. It's been important to J.D., but his Aztec fast offense, which is what he has relabeled his flash fast offense, because, at Kent State they were the Golden Flashes, so it was flash fast. Now it's Aztec fast. It doesn't quite have that alliterative zing to it.
What could we have done? What could we have done?
The Aztec Arrow offense.
Aztec attack?
Yeah, I like that. But
Aztecs? I don't know.
So it was actually quite balanced. You think about these fast-paced offenses, and it's all throw. It's run and shoot. It's 4-yard pass. Go. They actually were about even, like 3,000 yards passing, 3,000 yards rushing.
Balanced attack. I like it.
And, San Diego State, if you're going to point to the history of San Diego State football, you're probably going to point to Marshall Faulk and Rashad Penny and the great running backs. And you don't want to lose that and go from a place that has developed some of the best running backs in the game into one that never runs the ball. And so the fact that he brings an offense that is fast-paced is exciting, but doesn't completely abandon the run game at the same time, I think that hit the sweet spot for J.D. Wicker in San Diego State and probably pushed him to that top of the candidate list.
Yeah, I think this was a good hire. And again, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. And you got to recruit. He's got to recruit his ass off to get guys here.
All right. Were you paying attention to me? I told you it was going to happen a little bit earlier. Now is the time to call in for the Rolling Stones tickets. 833-288-0973. But you need to more than call in. You need to know what our Daily Ditty song was from earlier today. It was a Woods pick at 6:20 this morning. If you know it, call in now, 833-288-0973. We got 2 tickets for the Rolling Stones, July 10th at SoFi Stadium. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. You can win them early right now here on 97.3 The Fan. And we'll be back with more Ben and Woods. Rumors of a Trent Grisham trade at least being talked about as well with the San Diego Padres. That's next here on 97.3 The Fan. think we just made Christian in Santee's day. He called in. He knew the Daily Ditty song, and he thought he was just like qualifying for the grand prize drawing of Rolling Stones tickets. Oh, no. No, all week long, we've been actually giving away
You're going, dude.
Rolling Stones tickets. He is going to the Stones. He is today's winner, and that leaves us with one
more pair.
More pair to give away tomorrow. One last chance to listen to our Daily Ditty at 6:20, and then call in sometime later in the program to win Rolling Stones tickets. Still to come, got some SDSU UCSD college basketball tickets for tomorrow night, and our biggest fan winner is coming up at 9:15. Of course, the biggest fan contest is brought to you by the San Diego Seals. Tickets are on sale now at sealslax.com. You're trying to win an Odyssey Suite night. That is a grand prize, so you're just qualifying, getting your name in. If you hear it called, you'll have 10 minutes to call us back at 9:15 this morning. All right, we talked a little bit about the Dennis Lin piece and the Juan Soto. Is he going to be traded? They say it's now likely that he's gone. But that same piece also had some nuggets about other players, including the potential future for Trent Grisham, with or maybe not with the Padres. That is coming up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air conditioning company. Considering we've got some slick roadways thanks to some scattered showers around various parts of the county, folks have not done too bad of a job on our roads. Crash cleared on eastbound 905 past Caliente, and an accident has just cleared up northbound 5 near the Coronado Bridge. Still seeing a little residual slowing there. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company, with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,100 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Trent Grisham is entering, and I got this wrong a few weeks ago. He's in his second year of arbitration. So still 2 years of team control, projected by MLB trade rumors, Dennis Lin writes in The Athletic, to earn $4.9 million next season. So it's probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $5 million. Says he might have enough value left to fetch a 5th or 6th starter in a trade. Trading Grisham and signing Korean center fielder Jung-Hoo Lee would amount to the opposite of lowering payroll. The Athletics' Tim Britton projected a 4-year, $56 million contract for Lee. Wow. Dealing Grisham and calling up Arizona Fall League MVP Jacob Marcy would be a more cost-effective option, though maybe not the most practical one. Marcy has seen fewer than 100 at-bats above high A. So what are you going to do at center field if you do trade Trent Grisham for pitching and to save a little salary? You may still have a hole out in center field. Now, you could move Fernando Tatis Jr. over to center field. He just won a platinum glove in right field. I'm very hesitant now to move Fernando Tatis Jr. again after the success that he had defensively last season in right field.
Yeah, I mean, I am too, but
Anybody can do it.
I could be convinced.
I think you can almost argue the exact opposite. Like, well, he just switched positions and won the platinum glove. Why can't he just do it again in center field?
Look what he can do. Yeah. He potentially, we know he likes playing up the middle, but we also know he bought in to the team's plan for him to play right field and did it to some great success. First platinum glove in team history. Phenomenal season. If he wants to play up the middle, the closest to shortstop he can be, Ben, is center field, right? Until, and again, I know that he's talking.
He likes right field. He likes
right field. He bought in.
Yeah,
I get it. I totally get it. It's a whole, Mike just said it. It's a whole different beast in center, and it is. You got a lot more ground to cover. He can do it. He's fast as hell. In the very short time we've seen him out there, it didn't look great, but he doesn't have a lot of reps.
I don't think I'm not worried about the ground to cover. There might actually be more ground to cover in right field at Petco Park. It's a totally different view on the angles, though.
It's the
worst. Balls hit straight at you. the judging
worst.
of was that hit well? Am I supposed to go back? Am I supposed to go in? If there was one thing that Fernando Tatis Jr., I don't want to say struggled at,
the reads,
but didn't master, it was those initial reads.
Like
in right, yeah. And he would take 2 steps back, and because he's so athletic and so gifted, he was able to recover almost all of the time out in right field and make good plays. That would worry me, though, moving him to center. That
He
the
will
one,
not-
the one part of the platinum glove defensive game that he seemed a little iffy on, you have just increased the difficulty of that fivefold in center field.
And you need a cannon in right field. You need one. You have to have a cannon in right field. He's got the tag from second to third, that long throw. He's got the tag from third to home. It's got first to third on a single to right field. He's got that in the bag. And had he had a better catcher last year, the guy would have doubled his outfield assists last year. I can remember guys boxing several plays of his at home plate. And I mean, the dude is a freak athlete. What is the logic behind putting him in center other than... what is the logic? What's
the
logic?
The logic is if you
strong
trade,
up the middle.
If you trade Trent Grisham, you don't have a center fielder. You can't just put some stiff out in center.
But now you're losing the platinum glove right fielder.
Right.
What's
so
easier
you're plugging,
to acquire, though? A serviceable center fielder or a serviceable right fielder?
It's easier to get a corner outfielder,
Yeah.
so that's the logic.
I think that's the logic.
But you're not going to get that defense. You're not going to get that defensive production out of a guy you acquire. So I don't know,
Which is why maybe you just keep Trent Grisham and go with that same center right field combination next season. But then you're living with Trent Grisham's offense and increasing salary. And then I don't know that's helping you move in the direction you want to go.
With all signs pointing to Juan Soto being traded, by the way, now you're losing a lot of offensive production out of your outfield. Because, I mean, unless Grisham's going to bounce back, which we haven't really seen any signs of that happening, like we're going to have another sub-200 average in center field, losing Juan Soto.
You know, you're trading Trent Grisham to a team that thinks they can potentially make it work.
Fix him.
And I think that there's still potential there, certainly. You will miss his glove in center, but if you could get some offense out of your outfield, it would be fantastic.
And
in that position.
This is predicated partly on maybe they keep Juan Soto. Dennis does right. Where else could you get rid of money? Well, Trent Grisham, you get rid of 5 there. That saves you a little money for pitching. He speculates, well, what about Jake Cronenworth? You get, maybe you have to attach a prospect. You trade Jake Cronenworth. It doesn't really make sense, and here's why. And Dennis kind of points it out. Jake is going to make $7 million next year. It's the first year of his long contract extension. If you trade Jake, you definitely need a new first baseman, though. Where are you going to find a first baseman for less than $7 million right now? Even a so-so first baseman.
Rowdy Tellez going to command on the open market.
That's the thing. You're not saving any money by trading Jake.
No, but you have to upgrade positions.
You may upgrade your
whether or not it's
offense.
a need, whether or not you have nobody, a blank space out in wherever on the field, there are still positions that need to be upgraded.
Right, but there's nowhere to also save money. So if you are trying to keep Juan Soto, there's not a lot of other places to try to find that extra money to buy pitching in the offseason. I think part of the argument, that's why he thinks Juan Soto is almost certainly going to be traded.
But back
because
to the
there are
outfield.
no other options.
Let me ask you guys, back to the outfield, offense and defense, what's your better outfield? Let's say they keep Juan Soto. Is it Juan Soto, Trent Grisham, Fernando Tatis
same as last
Jr.
year. Is the best defensive outfield.
Or is it Juan Soto, Fernando, and then go out and take a little bit of a hit defensively, but a guy that can hit 230, 240 in right field.
With 20 bombs or something. Yeah, listen, it's all deadly for me. Running it back with the same 3 guys is going to cost you a ton of money. And Trent Grisham's salary going up, what do you get for a Trent Grisham? That's the other thing. Is
5th or 6th starter is
which I don't.
Dennis Lynn
I don't
seems
really.
to think.
Yeah, I don't really know. But maybe you have to do it. Maybe it's time. Maybe he needs a change of scenery. I think a lot of Padre fans would be happy to see him move on at this point because of the lack of offense. But if I'm a pitcher on this team and Trent Grisham's not in center field, I'm feeling a little bit worse than I would.
Well, what about Randy Arozarena?
So that's a name that got brought up yesterday. Eno actually brought it up on our show at 8:35 yesterday, and then by the time we got out of here, there was a lot of hubbub online about Randy Arozarena literally being on the trade block for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Now, we didn't start that, did we? Is this an inception
I don't think so. No,
moment?
no,
Okay.
it's just one of those weird coincidences. But yeah, Randy Arozarena would be a very, very interesting pickup. Doesn't make a ton of money right now, like Randy Arozarena, but he's going to cost you a Jackson Merrill. I mean, look, so think about this. The Tampa Bay Rays, what do they need right now? They need a shortstop. And they need a shortstop in the worst way because, well, Wander Franco, I don't know that he's ever coming back, right? And if he doesn't come back, they need a shortstop. Jackson Merrill is a shortstop. You could do a deal with them, find a way to bring Randy Arozarena over here. I'm all on board with that. I love Randy. I always have. I think he is a natural fit here in San Diego and would immediately be a crowd favorite. And would you want to talk about softening the blow of losing a Juan Soto? Randy Arozarena does that almost immediately. And I know it would hurt. The production's not the same, but I think it softens the blow. How about for you guys? All right, we lose Juan, but we got Randy. You're feeling pretty good about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. According to Spot Track, got 3 more years of control left. He is estimated in arbitration to make around $7 million this year.
I mean, that's nothing. That's
so
nothing.
Are they just shedding payroll, or is it just they need a shortstop, and that's the only way they think they can?
Or is the time?
This is how the Tampa Bay Rays do it.
This is what they do.
Like, would they take on a Juan Soto salary for Randy Arozarena?
No,
and
they would not take on a Juan Soto for Randy
They
on a
traded
1-year rental.
Blake Snell with 3 years of control left. He was a Cy Young Award winner, ended up winning another Cy Young, but they do it because they constantly are looking to get younger, more prospect heavy, cheaper every single time. That's how they do things. Randy Arozarena has simply reached his shelf life with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Trent Grisham could be a part of that deal as well. He's a guy they could probably look at and say, oh, no, there's things. We love his barrel rate, and we love how he gets the balls and everything else. And, I don't know what their need is. And
could save him a little money.
Could save him some money.
They need him.
Yep. But
Kiermaier's gone, has been for a season now.
There's interesting moves to be made, certainly. But Randy Arozarena here would be, that's a no-brainer, man. That's an instant fan favorite. Like the day he signs, those jerseys are flying off the shelves, period. So I know that you also, when you're talking about your favorite baseball team these days, it's not just let's get the best young, controllable talent on the field. If you're Eric Krupner, you're like, we are going to potentially lose Juan Soto. Somebody else needs to fill that void. And we have guys here that are already under contract that can do that. But you add another guy like that, bro, Ben, immediate fan favorite. Flying off the shelves.
Oh,
I mean, just done. For $7 million in 3 years.
The border, you saw how excited people got when there was just one quote from Benji Heel going, I'd bring Randy Arozarena with me to a Major League managing job after he managed him for Team Mexico.
It would soften the blow immediately.
So yesterday, we talked a little bit about Xavier Scruggs and his review of Mike Schilt as a manager. Paulie, being a great producer, reached out, MLB Network, got some numbers, was going for the Xavier Scruggs interview. He got scooped. He got scooped by our afternoon show. Scraby, I guess, booked Scruggs for Gwynn and Chris yesterday. Good for them. But we did
the Gwynn in Gwynn and Chris.
Maybe a little bit. Had a little bit of that inside help. Yeah, for sure.
The Poway High School alums.
Yeah, might have given him a little bit of advantage over you.
He had the leg up on that one.
Might have given him a little advantage. That's okay. We still have the access.
Same team here, guys.
Access to that audio because we were talking about it yesterday.
We should have this morning pretended that we had Xavier on and we asked the questions that they asked. It would have been a funny bit.
So what do we have audio-wise here yesterday?
Xavier Scruggs on the line with us here this morning on Ben and Woods.
Good morning, Xavier.
Xavier, hey, how you doing? Hey, before you get started on anything, what were your thoughts when Mike Schilt got the job when he saw that?
Yeah, I was excited to see the move. First and foremost, San Diego is still where my heart is at. So I always want the best for the organization. And having been under Mike Schilt during my minor league days, and even while he was the major league manager with the St. Louis Cardinals, having opportunities to talk with him and keeping that personal relationship, I was excited to see it, mostly not necessarily so much for the aspect of him, the X's and O's of the game and all that. I was more excited about the idea that, the culture that he builds around him is extremely special. And I wanted people to understand that because he's a leader that cares more about the person and wants the person, all the people around him, whether it be coaches, staff, players, he cares about those personalities. He knows how to communicate. He cares about the players' well-being. And a lot of times, we say that stuff, and it's it can be cliche, but the fact that I got to experience it and see it for myself and kind of understand it on multiple levels as I played with him on multiple levels, I know how special it'll be for the San Diego community and the players within that clubhouse. Because if we're being quite honest and frank, like that was one of the issues was, that this quote unquote no leadership within the clubhouse and all that. So I think that that's something that we'll see changed for the better.
We are joined by Xavier Scruggs from MLB Network. And Xavier, could you give us a few examples of who Mike Shildt is as a manager?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I actually talked to Mike today, and this is maybe the perfect example, is him already going and meeting with players and having dinner with players and learning about what makes those players go. And I think him sitting down with different guys, a lot of times you won't hear managers actually sitting down with players in and out of the season trying to figure out what is it that drives you? What is it that motivates you on a personal level? And I think that's a lot of what he can bring out of a player. And once you start, and another thing from him too is he builds a level of trust that a lot of times you don't have with the manager. And I think that that's a special quality that he has that not a lot of guys have. And I'm not even talking about just I'm not even talking about just managers. I'm talking about people in general. So I think there's a level of trust that he builds within guys. And I think it comes through him showing his insecurities, him showing that he's still willing to learn as much as possible within the game. I think him being a part of this organization over the last couple of years and on the player development side and just learning within the organization, that speaks highly to the person that he is as well.
It does.
Taking a step back from a managerial role. So I think you'll see some of those things come more into play in this 2024.
Ben,
Sorry about that. Xavier, before you go, we've seen the videos. Mike Shildt got a little bit of that fire to him.
The red ass.
Can you explain some of that, what you've seen in him?
He definitely does. And it's funny sometimes because, he's not a big dude. He's very, on the smaller side, not somebody that looks huge in stature, but there's a calmness to him. But it's funny because he always says, don't mistake my calmness for weakness.
Yeah.
And that's something that he's always kind of preached, but it's true because he can snap extremely quick. If you remember, there were some times with the Cardinals that maybe a small call that kind of disturbed him, he would all of a sudden go extremely red. So I think there's, but I think I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, I think that there's something to that. Because he's very smart about how he picks his decisions in protecting his players, and I think that that's something that you'll recognize this throughout the course of this season. And he's going to lean on some of those guys that have some heavy weight in the clubhouse to really help him along the way. And I think maybe where a Bob Melvin couldn't get to some guys, that may be where Shildt is able to have a little bit more of that influence.
Xavier, so much more we wanted to ask you,
but we couldn't.
We're out of time. That music
Thank you so
we got
much,
a break.
man.
Really, don't be a stranger,
Please don't
man.
be a stranger, bro.
That was
great.
a lot of fun. We really
that.
enjoyed it. We'll come back. We got a Reindl Report, Polly, with some headlines, our biggest fan giveaway as well next year on The Fan.
Thanks again to Xavier Scruggs for joining the show.
Great job, Paulie, for tracking him down.
It's not the best producer in the game for nothing.
That's
folks.
exactly right, man. And it's really an honor to have him exclusively here on 97.3 The Fan.
Paulie's going to have some of the headlines we didn't get to here in a second.
Will tweets in such a good interview you guys are putting on with Xavier Scruggs. Thank you. Thank you for that, man. Do you think Gwen and Chris will be mad about that? I wouldn't be mad. I think it's hysterical.
I think Adam will be the most mad.
You think he will be?
I think he'll be happy that we're...
Hey, guys.
You know, Scraby worked hard on that.
We are, and we did. We know how it works. It's not easy booking guests. We don't appreciate Paulie enough.
No, it's true. Booking guests
I hate
is very
calling
tough.
people on the phone and asking them to be on the radio.
It's the worst.
I would say booking guests for this show is hard.
You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome.
I mean, I could get
that's
the
true.
stereotypical sports radio beat writers.
I'm so sorry, Ben.
Now,
And
when
Paulie.
I was a producer, there was no texting. We didn't have texts, so you had to call everybody. That's the worst.
Yes.
Like cold
Because then you have
calling
to,
people.
like they're like, hello?
Yeah.
Hi, it's Ben Higgins. Are you free to, what'd you do, the day before?
Yeah, usually, or just like right at the moment.
Did you have to do the bit ever? You did?
So that's what happened today with Brad Ausmus. I didn't call him. I texted him, but like we didn't promote that interview.
Because it wasn't confirmed.
I texted him yesterday, and he said, I should be able to text
me in the morning, which is fine.
Which
but
is
you can't
great.
promote it.
Doesn't help us for planning purposes, but yeah, I texted him at 7:20. He's like, "Yeah, call me in 15 minutes."
Perfect.
Done.
So our old what was he? Executive producer, the Bulldog, Joe the Bulldog Totino. He used to tell me stories of when he was Romy's producer, and he would call like hotels.
Yeah. Oh, he made me do that too.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
had
did.
to do it. Did you
Call
soil
hotels.
yourself?
You knew which teams. You had a directory. Like MLB put out a directory every year, and in the back,
They still do.
there was the road hotels where teams would stay. And you go, hey, look, the Milwaukee Brewers, they're on the road.
They're
in
at the
Colorado, so they're staying at
Hilton.
the Hyatt.
The Hyatt.
So you get the number of the Hyatt, and
see
you
if that
call, and you
information-
start asking for, is Jeremy Burnett's room available? And they say, yeah, we'll ring you right up. And you call, and then if someone answers, you go,
Hello?
yeah, is Jeremy there? Hey, Jeremy,
is
this is
him.
Ben Higgins
Who's
from
this?
the Mighty 690. We were
Where
wondering
are
if you
you?
could join our host right now. He's on the air. Wanted to talk
Right
a little
now,
Brewers baseball.
I just sat down for
Yeah.
a dump,
Oh.
man. I'm so sorry. Did you get any people scream at you? Remember?
There were certainly some irritated people.
Oh, the irritation.
Yeah, that's why celebrities often use fake names when they check into hotels, so people don't do exactly what we were doing and call and ask for a name. Because if you give the hotel receptionist a name that is in the hotel, they will ring that room.
They don't do that
that is
anymore,
attached
I
to
don't
the
think.
name.
You need to have a room
Gotta
number.
or you have a fake name. You know, what would you stay under?
Ben Hoggins.
Dixie Normus?
Be a good one.
Ben Hoggins?
I told the story once where I was trying. The Spurs were in the NBA Finals, and I was trying to call their assistant coach, Mike Budenholzer, now NBA championship coach winning himself,
For the Milwaukee Bucks.
was with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now he is with the Atlanta Hawks.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
I forget where he went, but they got rid of him in Milwaukee. But I called, and I ended up, the guy who answered, because he went to the same college I did, it was our college coach, who I knew from Pomona College, and he goes, wait, Coach Cat, is this Ben? Yeah, I was like, I called a random hotel room and got someone I knew from 10 years ago who was answering the phone. I had no idea he was there, and it was really a random moment. But yeah, we had to do that. Cold call hotel rooms.
No, we don't
get
make Paulie do
guests.
that. I
I can't think of anything worse than that.
And now you can text, and the worst thing that happens is what? They just don't text
They don't
back.
text back.
No one ever angrily really texts back who's, don't text me ever again. They just ignore it.
Yeah.
Somebody would.
Someone really angrily texted, like, don't text me again?
Yeah. Well, those waters were sullied by somebody else in town.
Yeah.
He was very upset.
He was very mad. But he had gotten a text, don't talk to these guys.
Yeah, that literally
That
happened.
literally happened. I hate this business. And pretty much everyone in it.
Yeah. So, that's the story. Now, Paulie, the headlines that we did get to, Nick Martinez going to the Cincinnati Reds, 2-year deal, option for the second year, $26 million. Luis Severino going to the New York Mets, $13 million 1 year. I thought maybe he'd be like the affordable discount bargain option for the San Diego Padres rotation. Not much of a bargain, $13 million, when you could have had Michael Wacha for $16 million. So he goes to the New York Mets. The pitching market is getting thinner and thinner by the day, while the Padres continue to plot their course with Juan Soto and what's going forward. So we talked about that earlier. Here's Paulie with some of what we didn't get to.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. Just really one sportsy story today. Talking sports gambling. A lot of people are involved in that now. It was taboo 5-10 years ago. Now it's everywhere. Still can't legally do it here in California, but there are ways around it. So ESPN has gotten themselves into the gambling business, and they just launched in the last couple of weeks a new show, weekdays, ESPN Bet, and goes over all the games, all the prop bets, all the plays, expert opinions, and all of that every day. They've also launched a sports book called ESPN Bet. I downloaded it, wanted to check it out. Can't really use it in California. They will not let you. It geo-tracks where you're at. If you're in California, you can't use it, so I deleted it. But saw the story that ESPN Bet, they haven't had a great debut over the last 5, 6, 7 days. One thing in particular had to do with parlay bets. Now, what happens for you guys? What happens if you bet a 4-leg parlay and you hit on 3 and you push on the 4th?
I win the odds for the 3.
3, yeah. It's not as good of a bet, but you still win.
You still win.
It's just like winning a 3-way parlay.
You don't lose your entire deal.
The push just gets ignored.
Well, if you bet with ESPN Bet, you lose.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's
And
absolute trash.
They were voiding entire bets when part of a parlay pushed, tied, whatever you want to call it. They were voiding the entire bet, and people were
garbage.
They're voiding it, so you get your money back, but you didn't win.
Yeah, but you should
You
win.
didn't
If it was
lose.
a,
You should win.
But you should win. $20 bet to win $500.
Yeah, no, you should win a 3-way parlay instead of a 4-way parlay.
Yeah, let's say it's a 4-leg parlay, $20 to win $500, and you pushed on one of them. It should become automatically a 3-leg parlay to win $300 or what, however it breaks down. And ESPN Bet, they're gonna have to change something, I think, because that was again, they launched last week. And this started happening. And maybe it was just a glitch. Maybe it was a bug. Maybe it was something they didn't think about. Although every other sports book that I know of, they all pay out still. And ESPN did not do that.
Absolute garbage.
All right, that's it for sports. We just have some really funny audio. I'm going to save that for my third story.
Is that from yesterday?
Yeah, we never played it yesterday.
Oh, this is so good.
And there wasn't really any place to put it.
It's true.
So we're going to put it in the Reindl Report. But we have talked a ton about the Vegas Sphere over the last few months. Our beloved Woodsy got to go and see U2 a couple months ago, back in October.
Yep.
And
September.
Yeah. And
maybe October.
I think it was October. There's been a lot of speculation who is going to be the next band artist to play at the Las Vegas Sphere. Rumored names that I remember seeing were Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Harry Styles. None of them have taken it up yet so far. James Dolan, MSG Network or MSG Sphere, whatever. They're still trying to figure all that out. But there was a new announcement today.
Yeah, saw that.
Just a couple of shows. Not like...
4.
U2 added
they have
3 more months.
Yeah,
they're going
into next year.
When I think residency, when I hear Vegas residency, I think at least a month.
Sure,
it's a longer show. But Fish
is going to
follow U2.
Okay,
and they signed up for 4 shows.
Yeah,
April 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st of next year.
Fish playing on 420.
Yeah,
that's no surprise.
Interesting. They are confirmed, locked in, playing at the Sphere.
Fish.
And I did see their name out there a little bit.
I'm going to pass on Pahish myself. I've never been.
What's their biggest song? You don't even know.
My friends, I lost a lot of friends in college
to fish.
Yeah. They started following them one summer, and then they came back, and they didn't shower anymore. They didn't wear shoes anymore. All they drank is really dark brown beer, and they smoked a lot of marijuana.
Their number one song.
They didn't like to go out anymore. They just wanted to get high. And I'm like, can we go out and meet girls?
They're the 1990s version of the Grateful Dead.
Sure, yeah. Look, just Trey Anastasio, who's their leader, is one of the most brilliant musicians and guitar players of all time. That being said, their music never connected with me in the slightest. Give me a little bit of Pahish.
I was going to play it out, going to break.
Okay, that's fine. We'll play some Pahish on the way out. But their
top song has almost 24 million streams on Spotify. They're
What's
a
it
cult
called?
Classic. Farmhouse. They're kind of a cult classic, right?
You say cult following, but they'll sell out Madison Square Garden. They'll play 6 nights in a row. They do
but
something.
it's like the Grateful Dead. It'll be the same people who go all 6 nights.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Give me a
Bill Walton
super
going to
popular
7,000 Dead concerts.
Give me a super popular comparable band.
Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Okay, so Fish has 415,000 monthly listeners. Their top streaming single is about 24 million. And Grateful Dead
more iconic than Fish.
Yeah, they've been around longer.
Yeah, 2.2 million monthly listeners.
They do something pretty cool on their Halloween show. They will come out and they will cover another band's album in its entirety. Some of the ones they've done, the White Album
it's like
by the
wearing
Beatles.
A costume.
Yeah,
we're putting on this band's costume and playing their entire
They do the whole record
album.
They've done Quadrophenia by the Who. They've done Velvet Underground. They've done Exile on Main Street by the Stones. They've done Dark Side of the Moon. That's pretty badass. You go see Fish cover Dark Side of the Moon in their own way. That I could get behind. It's the Fish songs that I probably didn't want to hear the most. Don't take it. They don't come from me.
I love you guys, except when you play your own music.
Can you just do covers? And I'm all in.
All right, and finally, how do you want to set this up?
Mike, by the way, who's a big Dave Matthews fan, who also has that following. They jump. He goes, it's the same 100,000 people going to their shows across the country. So you will see at the Sphere. Probably my friends without shoes, dark beer, marijuana cigarette tucked in hand, no shower, ready to jam for 4 straight nights at the Sphere, costing them $75,000 for the whole 4 days, dude.
Somebody in the chat, I missed who it was. Trying to scroll back. Somebody said, "Isn't AJ Cassavell a big Fish fan?"
He is a huge
He will be at
Fish
the
fan.
Sphere. You're damn right. He will be at the Sphere.
So wait, when is it?
April 18th.
He right now this morning is like mother F. That's right in baseball season, dude. You can't. It's the beginning of the.
Everybody gets a day off. He can make one quick trip to the Sphere.
Let's see, I just looked at the Padres calendar. When are those dates again?
Is there any off
April
day
18th.
coinciding? Okay,
it's a weekend. It's April 18th is a Thursday, and it goes Thursday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Now the Padres play Friday, Saturday, Sunday at home against the Blue Jays. So that Thursday's an off day.
That's AJ's day for Fish at the Sphere.
I'm going to need a full report. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be, if you love Fish, go. You'll never see a Fish show like this one. That is a promise. There's nothing like that place. Nothing in the world.
Woody, how do you want to set up this piece of audio?
I don't know.
You found this.
I got a DM from one of our beloved Tier 1s, and it didn't say, and I'll be honest with you, it was on the Ben and Woods account. Ben, we actually have we have an Instagram?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And a guy sent this to me. I want to give him credit. Ryan sent this to me, and I for some reason clicked on it. I rarely do. I just heart your stuff. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I have a lot to do.
Wait, you heart things without clicking on them? You don't check and make sure that it's worthy of hearting?
99%.
I don't give out a
time.
That's
heart just
an endorsement.
without some investigation into what's behind that heart.
Oh, he's in the chat too. Ryan Castillo Gabrentina. So he sent it to me, and he did, and I'd go, I'm going to watch this one. And boy, am I glad I did.
So this
Adam,
is
I'm sorry.
It's a news story.
It's a news story. It's from a while ago.
It's an old story on the news. Now, I think the subject of this story, they're long gone. It was their birthday, or what would have been their birthday, their heavenly birthday, recently, and that's why this story resurfaced. Here is a news clip about Harry Balls.
Wayne, Indiana, are trying to honor Harry Balls, but they're running into some stiff opposition, in fact.
Hey,
Now,
hold on.
Balls
So
is the
he's a
former mayor.
former mayor of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Yes, it was B-A-A-L-S.
Maybe his first name was Harold.
Harold.
Went by Harry.
You have to.
Harry William Balls.
Wayne, Indiana, are trying to honor Harry Balls, but they're running.
That's my favorite part.
Now,
all right, question. Somebody wrote this for him.
I was just going to ask.
Yes,
probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Did the
writer,
hosts,
yeah.
the
No,
anchors read?
the main anchors usually have writers who are
Do they
scripting
read these
most of the show.
beforehand?
You're supposed to go through the scripts beforehand. Yes.
Okay,
Sometimes on
'cause-
breaking news you don't get a chance to, but
Based on his reactions, I think he was reading this all for the first
cold.
time.
Wayne, Indiana, are trying to honor Harry Balls, but they're running into some stiff opposition, in fact. Now, Balls is the former mayor of Fort Wayne, but the uncomfortable, perhaps even amusing ring of his name has local politicians uncomfortable with naming a building after Harry Balls. But it's head and shoulders ahead in an internet vote, so his great-great-nephew thinks the name should hang on the side of the building.
Hang? Are you
I think
kidding
it's
me?
kind of funny. I also think this is a name that people have voted for. I think the people should have their say.
Yeah, it's a name you can trust. Harry Balls is a name you can trust in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And where do you work? Oh, I work in the Harry Balls building. There's a street. There's Harry Balls Boulevard.
There's a statue of Harry Balls, I'm sure, in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
There's got to be.
In bronze.
Would you have you ever had when you had to do a report a name or something that made you sniggle like that, or you just plow through it like a professional?
I just plow through like a professional. I can't think of. I mean, there must have been a couple of athletes over the years.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Wayne, Indiana, are trying to honor Harry Balls, but they're
kills me every time. It's so good.
There's another one of those very. They're talking about a pig, viral news clip, and the pig's name was Chris. Middle initial P, last name Bacon, and when the anchor put them together, lost it.
Chris P. Bacon.
Like broke down. Could not continue speaking.
Can you find
I will find
the Chris
Chris
P. Bacon for me before the end of the show? I'm going to need to hear it, my
Because
friend.
we got a pig here that won the livestock pavilion. Chris P.
Bacon?
And he melts down.
Chris P. Bacon. Stupid. Thank you for sending
Thank you,
that to
Paulie.
me.
It is time right now to read another name in our biggest fan contest. If you hear your name, you've got 10 minutes to call us at 833-288-0973. If you do it in time, you'll qualify for our grand prize drawing 20 tickets to a Padres 2024 game in the Odyssey Suite. Watch with all your friends and all the fans' hosts. To have your name drawn, you need to go to 973thefansd.com/biggest-fan today to register. Today's biggest fan is Richard Price from El Cajon. Richard, give us a call, 833-288-0973. The Biggest Fan Contest is presented by the San Diego Seals. Tickets are on sale now at sealslax.com. So, Richard, you got 10 minutes. We'll keep an eye on the phones. Good luck to you. Coach will have another name at 11:30, and Gwen and Chris have one at 5 o'clock this afternoon. No, it's probably early because of football again today. 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock is my guess.
4 o'clock today because of Thursday Night Football. And speaking of Thursday Night Football, Football Threesome on a Thursday is coming up next as we get you ready for the football weekend ahead here with Ben and Woods after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Is this fish? Sounds pretty good.
inspiring others. One pot-bellied pig has certainly endured his share of problems. Chris P. Bacon was born without the use of his back.
It's a pig.
I can't.
He's in like the wheelchair.
Yeah, you have to read this story.
He's lost it. Broken. He's done. There's no coming back.
We cannot. Oh my god.
It's a pig.
It's Breaking Ben.
You've seen like a dog with their hind legs are hurt or something. They're in that
and
kind of
that little
wheelchair.
rolling
Like maybe they're missing a leg.
chair,
So it was a pig in one of those rolling back wheelchairs named, like when the graphic popped up and it said across the lower third image, Chris P. Bacon. Chris P. Bacon. The guy.
Now to the story of a pig that is inspiring others. One pot-bellied pig has certainly endured his share of problems. Chris P. Bacon was born without the use of his back.
Lost it. I love that. I love that feeling of just you're done.
All right, we have actually some breaking news, gnarly breaking news to get to in our football threesome. Let's get to it.
Can Ben and Woods interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
Oh, not that kind of threesome.
Dang it.
We're talking end arounds, the best tight ends in the world.
He must work out.
And going all the way in this game of inches.
Nice.
It's the NFL Threesome with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino. Fun above all else on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
Yeah, not the best way to start off the NFL threesome this morning. An arrest warrant has been issued in Dallas, Texas, here in Dallas, Ben, for Buffalo Bills player Von Miller for allegedly assaulting a pregnant woman. The Dallas Police Department has confirmed the warrant. 11 a.m. on Wednesday, Ben, the DPD responded to a major disturbance call with the preliminary investigation showing that Miller and the woman got into a verbal argument and that he allegedly assaulted her. He took off. He left the scene. The woman was not transported to a hospital but was treated for minor injuries. She is pregnant. And again, they've put out the very standard NFL statement that they just have. They have there in their Microsoft Word for statements that dealing with their players. This morning, we were made aware of the incident involving Von Miller. We are in the process of gathering more information, always the information gathering, and we'll have no further comment at this point. The NFL said essentially the same thing. He was under investigation in 2021 by police in Parker, Colorado. No charges were ever filed. Not a good scene for Von Miller this morning.
No, and Von Miller obviously has been one of the top defensive players in the league. He got hurt last night too. He has not been the same player since for the Buffalo Bills. But and this seems like a situation, someone obviously that he knows, whether it's. We don't know if they're pregnant with his child or not, but wasn't simply like on the street and came up to a random pregnant woman. This is a domestic incident of some sort. So, yeah, that's breaking news this morning in our football threesome. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. It happened. New York Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers, exactly 11 weeks from the day that he had surgery to repair a torn Achilles, was back on the practice field for the New York Jets yesterday, cleared for functional football activity, but not contact. That's it's just a next step in his rehab progression.
11 weeks from a torn Achilles?
11 weeks, yeah, really, really fast. Now, the Jets now have 21 days to decide whether to activate Rodgers from injured reserve. So that's December 20th would be 21 days, 4 days before they'd face the Washington Commanders in their Christmas weekend game. Now, he didn't do a ton at practice. He had the red jersey on, no touching.
Yeah, no touching.
Just kind of threw some light passes, did some jogging between drills, and did some drop back. So you did that kind of shuffle step, but nothing that would say he's quite ready to go back into a game. Still, it has been a fast and remarkable recovery. The question is, the 4-7 Jets, they if they don't win a couple of these next games, there would be no point in coming back.
No, the comeback
if
alone.
They're 4-10 or 5-9 when he's eligible to return, What's the rush? Why not just get healthy for next season at that point?
Yeah, the comeback alone isn't worthy of risking it, right? Just the fact to say that I came back, which, I mean, look, if there's one thing Aaron Rodgers has, it's hubris. It's not necessarily the worst thing to have that. It's not the worst quality somebody can have. He definitely is confident, believes in himself, believes in his ability to get back. But I think that if this was his last year ever playing football, like, hey, this is it. I'd love to get back and play a couple of games. Okay, then it makes sense. But he wants to play and continue to play. So it doesn't make sense behind that line to roll him out there when he could get another 6-7 months of recovery time.
Just for comparison's sake, no NFL player has ever returned from Achilles surgery before the 5-month mark. It would be 3.5 months if he plays on Christmas Eve.
In general?
I don't know.
There was a guy they kept comparing him to yesterday, and it escapes me. I'm sorry.
He did tell his buddy Pat McAfee that his decision to return will be based on 2 factors, his health and the team standing in the playoff race. Jets have lost 4 straight, again, are 4-7. Pretty much need to win out to even have a shot at like a tiebreaker for the playoffs. Yeah. I don't think 9-8's getting there in the AFC, so they cannot lose another game if really there wants to be any reasonable chance for Aaron Rodgers to make a difference.
Yep, makes sense to me.
Let's see. This week, the New York Jets.
Do you have your best of yet?
I do have my NFL best of. They were not on it, so I was just checking. They're hosting the Atlanta Falcons this week. My NFL best of, if you want to get to the third story here, I can get to my NFL best of the week. And tonight we've got the Seattle Seahawks and Dallas Cowboys.
Good
both
game.
Playing on Thursday for the second straight week since they both hosted Thanksgiving Day games. This one will be in Dallas again. You can hear it here on 97.3 The Fan. The Sunday interesting games. Denver at Houston. Would not have predicted it.
No question.
The Broncos have won 5 straight. They're 6-5. Houston is 6-5 with an MVP and Rookie of the Year candidate in C.J. Stroud. All of a sudden, the winner is clearly in the thick of the playoff race. That's an interesting game. You've got the Detroit Lions trying to bounce back from their Thanksgiving loss. They're at the New Orleans Saints, who are 5-6, but tied for first place in their division. So that's a big one on the road. Detroit trying to keep Minnesota at bay in second place. The Cleveland Browns will visit the Los Angeles Rams. 7-4 Browns, and the Rams are now just a game out of a playoff spot, trying to get some momentum going. The Browns have elevated Joe Flacco to their backup quarterback already. He was on the practice squad, so he may see some action in that game if Dorian Thompson-Robinson struggles. But, of course, the big game is 49ers-Eagles.
Can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that's the afternoon
Banger.
1:25 game on Sunday.
I still have the Eagles in our survivor pool, and yet it feels
can't
like
use them this week, can you?
I can't use them every week. It feels like I can't use them the last 4 weeks. They're playing the Chiefs.
Yeah, they've had a gnarly
49ers.
schedule. Yes,
they keep
the Bills.
winning.
They keep winning.
And they keep winning. So that's clearly the game of the weekend.
It's not a comfortable enough matchup where you're like, that's my lock.
Remember,
They're
though, even if the
definitely going
49ers win and have the tiebreaker, they're still a game behind the Eagles. So the Eagles still control everything right now in the NFC. All right, we'll come back. Last segment of Ben and Woods. Might spin some topic wheel.
Tickets.
And we've got some UCSD, SDSU tickets for tomorrow night. A little intimate venue to watch the Aztecs and the Tritons at Lion Tree Arena. If you would like to win, call now, 833-288-0973, or you can get your tickets. And by the way, I know UCSD fans go. Aztec fans, you can go see a game at Lion Tree Arena with your team at UCSDTritons.com or call now to win, 833-288-0973. Back next on 97.3 The Fan.
I got the something we've been talking about for a long time here on the Ben and Woods program. We talk a lot. We deliver sometimes. But I got the go-ahead from the missus. I had to ask permission to start a baseball team called the Tier 1s, and we're going to play North County MSBL, Men's Senior Baseball League, on Sundays.
How old is senior, by the way?
18.
Like seniors in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's eight. We're going to be playing in the 18.
I was thinking, like, is this like a 45 and up league of some sort?
No.
Not seniors.
We're going to be playing in the. It's men's senior baseball because it's, it's adult league is what it is. But we're going to call it the Tier 1s. Ben, you will be our sponsor. So I'm going to need from you. I don't know how much it's going to be.
Tier 1 basketball tonight at 8 o'clock.
Oh, there you go.
And then we have Tier 1 baseball starting.
I was the coach of the Tier 1 basketball
I'm
team
the coach.
for a night.
No, I'm
if
the
you'd
coach.
like me to come in and manage for
No,
a
I'd like
day,
you to sponsor us.
He's 0-1.
be happy to do that.
I'd like you to sponsor us. Okay. Could you do that? I don't know. It's probably like.
Have you called Chico's bail bonds yet?
It's probably like $2,500. So if you could stroke me a check, that would be great. But do we need to do? Probably have to do some sort of tryout, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what's the ideal number?
14,
15,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
14-ish.
13, 14, 15.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
and you
if
need to make sure
30 people
you need
are like,
pitchers.
You need arms.
So
That's
30
what I need.
or 40 people all of a sudden are like, yeah, I want in. Then I guess you'll have to do some sort of a trial.
Get a little dicey. Imagine telling our beloved Tier 1s, you didn't make it. I'm going to put the list up here on the fence. And if you're on the list, we'll see you next Sunday. If you're not on the list, try again.
Are we
going to
lose listeners this way?
That's the thing.
I'm the bench coach, right?
Yeah, you're my bench coach.
So I'll get to be like, hey, Mike, grab your
gear, come with
gear.
me. You'll
Coach,
do it. I'll make Paulie.
Coach wants to talk to you.
Paulie, no. Coach doesn't want to talk to him. You're the Turk. You do it.
Can I be the first base coach?
Sure.
You can be the GM. Ben will cut them. Ben will cut them.
Yes, you cut them. Yeah, you can be the first base coach. So she said, I texted her. And
the first GM / first base coach in baseball history.
With great enthusiasm, she wrote back. Okay. So she's not happy about it. I know that. But
that's a no.
At this point, it's fun to do for the listeners.
What do you
It's fun to
win
do
if you
for
get the
me.
championship?
A trophy.
A trophy?
Yeah.
There's no cash prize involved?
No rings?
No, there's no rings in this one.
Okay.
But we could go play tournaments and stuff together. She'd love that.
Like out-of-town tournaments?
Yeah, like I used to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to
Back
Arizona.
when I had, freedom.
Did you play
and
like
stuff.
at the Angels
Yeah,
complex?
played the Angels. Won a championship at the A's complex at Holcomb Stadium. It was amazing. Won a championship at the Angels place. It was great. It's great. It's so much fun. And my kids can come now and watch their dad play and run around. It'd be great. So hopefully she's on board. But Tier 1s, I just want you to know, I did it. I signed us up. This is going to happen.
So the call is now out for baseball playing adults.
Yeah, 18 and up. We're gonna
in
be,
our audience.
We're going to be playing in probably the lower division of the 18s.
Now, do they have to be a Tier 1 to play on the team?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not bringing my
you're-
buddies.
You're not going to bring in ringers like,
As far as
hey,
they-
can
as
you
far
listen
as-
to the show for a few minutes? So
As
you
far
can
as
now-
you know, I will not be bringing
you
in
throw
ringers.
86? Well,
Maybe
maybe
a
if you could just
diehard-
listen for a couple of minutes.
A diehard Coach Quintero listener.
Yeah.
Jumping on the 18s.
That's exactly
You should
right.
have Coach as your coach.
Good.
He's coached baseball before.
Yeah, I'm gonna run this team though. But if you're interested, I give my email out over the air because I already get a lot of spam from people.
You want to give them the show account?
Sure. benandwoods@gmail.com.
Wow, that was hard to figure out.
benandwoods@gmail.com. Email us if you're interested. I already got a few in my email because I put my email in the chat like a moron already. So that's in there. I've got a few. But yeah, we need arms, honestly, and we'll see how it
You need
goes.
some legs, too.
We'll get uniforms and the whole bit, and we'll figure all that out. But thank you to my beloved wife for always supporting my endeavors. Means
This
the world to me.
Segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by the Caltrans Stormwater Program. Maybe the Tier 1s can be brought to you by the Caltrans Stormwater Program as well. Visit cleanwaterca.com. Let's change this to that by picking up after our pets,
Sedano
reducing
Ford, baby.
pesticide use, and regularly servicing our vehicles and occasionally executing a hit and run. Learn how at cleanwaterca.com. That's cleanwaterca.com from the Caltrans Stormwater Program. We're going to check traffic one last time. I've got an update on one Eldrick Tiger Woods for you as well this morning, coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly
I'll get the
Davenport.
topic wheel ready.
Considering we had some scattered showers and
tease
slick
golf.
roadways around various parts of the county this morning, you guys did not do too bad. In fact, at this time, no incidents or accidents to report. Southside coastline cleared up crash near Birmingham. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's not golf. If I told you, I'm going to tell you how Tony Finau is doing in the Greater Greensboro Open, that's a bad tease. When Tiger Woods hasn't played in months and months and months, and he's in his first round since ankle surgery, since withdrawing from the Masters, I think that the audience is curious to know how he's doing after 4 holes.
By the audience, do you mean yourself?
No,
and
I
like
think
4 other people.
I think Tiger Woods transcends golf and anything else.
Okay.
And he came back. First drive was like 330 down the middle. Still can hit the ball. Didn't make his birdie putt on the first hole. Did birdie the third. Did bogey, missed a 17-footer for par on the fourth. So he's even par, tied for 8th, 2 strokes off the lead, held by one Tony Finau at the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas. So Tiger is back on the course, playing his first competitive event since April after having his ankle surgery.
Phone is blowing up. We are going to have a really good team of tier ones, just so you guys know.
I know there are some former Major League and minor league baseball players who are tier ones.
Yeah, they listen.
Listen to this show.
Well, look, the only rule on my team is
Maybe Rod Barajas can be your catcher.
No bunting on the tier ones. We do not bunt, ever. Never. If you bunt, you're cut. Does that make sense?
Even if you try to bunt for a base hit?
Correct. Well, you can bunt for a base hit, but
there's no sacrifice bunting.
No, it's adult league. Give me a break. Okay? No.
Stealing allowed?
Of course.
Lead offs.
It's
I mean,
real
this is
baseball.
like full real baseball.
We have helmets and stuff.
Pitch clock?
No pitch clock.
No pitch clock.
No.
Is that that's real baseball now?
My boy asks how fast are they throwing? I mean, you'll see guys
As fast as they can.
Yeah, as fast as they can. I mean, one guy that just texted me throws low 80s, and he's gnarly, so he'll be a tier 1. He'll be our ace.
You're not even making him try. You just put him on the team.
I know him. He's good. We're good on him. My
Seems
boy.
like there's a bias now already.
I mean,
is this a truly fair tryout for
bro,
everybody?
I went and played a game one time, and Seth, somebody the Padres had.
Heath Bell.
No, I played with Heath. He didn't. He pitched 1 inning, but I played with a guy that was throwing like Matt Swilly. I went out to play my buddy Griff's team, and Matt Swilly was on the bump, and I'm watching him throw. I'm like, I'm going home. It's like mid-90s. It was just like, what are you doing out here? Like, beat it. It was awful, dude. So you'll run into those buzzsaws every now and then, but it's fun. You challenge yourself. So no bunting.
Tiger just birdied the 5th hole. He's now in 3rd place.
It's fantastic, man. I love that.
Let's spin the topic wheel for the last couple minutes of the show here.
If you had to teach a class, what would you teach?
Geography.
Really?
Yeah, I like geography. I like maps.
All right. Well, you like it, but do you know it?
Pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, pretty
solid.
solid.
Try to pull up a rudimentary what is it?
A map?
Geography.
Geography.
Quiz. Okay, pull up a rudimentary, just a geography quiz.
I mean, if you're ask me to nail every former Soviet Republic country, I haven't practiced a lot, but generally, I can give you the world in a nutshell. I'm pretty good naming, countries and where they are on a map.
Isn't rivers and mountains
part of it?
and things
yeah,
part
for
of that?
sure. Mountain ranges, rivers, seas.
I'm so bad at it.
Trying to find a quiz.
I have a good.
It's not visual.
Do you know my anagram?
All right, you always like to find out things about me.
All right, go ahead.
So, when you're at work and you need to kill some time. You're bored
every day.
But you can't keep working. You need 10 minutes off, but it's not long enough to leave or go anywhere or do anything or eat a meal. I will sometimes, to relax, I will go onto Google Maps or Google Earth, and I will just scroll around and look at just the maps and the countries and the rivers. Sometimes I'll trace a river to its source and just find okay, where did this Rio Grande River actually start?
Are you listening to this?
Yes.
You hear this?
This is something I do. I find it relaxing, and I like looking at the world. I can't travel that much. I don't have the time for it, so I do it in my mind and just kind of scroll through the old Google Maps.
You are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Geography would be my subject.
Geography. I'd do English. I'd do some sort of English literature. Probably what I would teach. I would teach probably American Lit is what I would teach. I would cover some of the beatnik guys and the great Bukowski and people like that was probably what I would cover. American Lit. I would feel pretty comfortable going and doing that. I'd have to.
Ken Kesey on the road.
Yeah, that's Jack Kerouac on the road.
Ken Kesey was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Did he write that?
I think so.
Yeah. I would feel comfortable. I'd have to go back and reread, William Burroughs and all that. But I think that's what I would do. How about you, Paulie?
By the way, Matt and Megan in the chat both saying, I do that too. Look at the Google Maps geography.
I would love to teach. I've said this before. I would love to teach like a adult life preparation class. I didn't have anything like that in high school. And I think they might have something nowadays.
Like the new home ec, life skills.
Home ec, exactly. Life skills, taxes, how to file for loans, basic stuff that they don't teach
how
you
to
in
do
high school.
these things?
No,
That's the thing I was going to ask you. Are you the best prepared to do this?
Absolutely not. But I know there's a huge need for it. How to change a tire, how to
good.
change your oil, stuff like
Paul,
that.
how does a deductible work?
Yeah, what
on
is
your health
Paul?
insurance
What is
plan?
insurance? What is a
Deduct
deductible?
money from the money.
Oh no! So your concept is right. What could you actually teach?
Yeah.
English.
Okay, English. There you go.
English
You could do
multimedia.
Multimedia.
Yeah.
That would be your scene. Audio production would be killer.
I don't know that's a little
niche.
But
Right, spin it again.
Broadcasting media. I don't know, something like that. Spin it one more time. Here we got time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got time. Nothing but.
And the question is, what is your favorite theme park in Southern California? I'll just say, what's your favorite theme park that you've been to?
Wet and Wild in Arlington, Texas.
Wow.
It is amazing.
They used to have a Wet and Wild. Oh no, that was Wild Rivers in Irvine. Was good. It's gone now. Best theme park is Disneyland. It's not even close. I'm a Disneyland guy. Legoland's fun. It's cool. I mean the Miniland is amazing what they build. But if you're talking like the king of theme parks, it's Disneyland.
Six Flags Magic Mountain.
If I go, I don't want to go to Disneyland with my wife because there's not a lot of rides there. We went to Magic Mountain. That was a blast. There was a lot of rides. We also got very sick on a ride.
I'm
Had to
not.
leave.
See, now I don't think the rides are the biggest attraction at
You
most
like
theme
the
parks.
Old West gun show that they do.
I like just
the jamboree.
I like walking around between the different lands and seeing all the displays and how they have it all decorated and the shows and stuff like that.
I like the rides.
There are some cool
So
rides.
Wet and
too.
Wild was amazing because they had the world's biggest wave pool. So that's super fun. The lazy river's incredible.
You just like the girls in their bathing
Well,
suits.
I was like 14. So yeah, probably 15.
We had wild waves.
But we used to go, for hours and run around Wet and Wild and go down the slides and stuff. It was the time of my life. I love water slides. Still, to this day. Roller coaster is a little dicey. You get me on a water slide, I'm all in.
When's the last time anyone went to Knott's Berry Farm?
It's been forever.
Long time.
2009.
Oh, I'm in a 1980s at the very minimum was probably the last time I went to Knott's Berry Farm.
That'd be it. I would like to go back.
Yeah, and in Magic Mountain probably not long after that. Those rides were too scary for me. There was almost nothing I could do at Magic Mountain because I was too terrified of every single ride they had there.
I told you guys, I did Magic Mountain. The park was rented out by somebody. It was completely empty. If you
That's
rode a
my
ride,
nightmare.
You walk up. No, it was the greatest day of my life.
When I go to Magic Mountain, I'm hoping to get in one 7-hour line and then have to go home because I don't want to do any of those rides.
Buddy,
I don't want to be upside down. I don't want to corkscrew.
It didn't matter if it was
I don't want
X2.
to loop-de-loop.
You walked right up to it. You got right on. And you rode the ride, and if you wanted to do it again, maybe you let the one person on that wanted to wait, and then you just gave them the let's run it back, and you just rode it again. It was the best night.
A lot of people
ever.
saying California Adventure at Disneyland. Great second choice. Probably my number 2 right after Disneyland. I like those places
I
better
like California
than the other
Adventure
I like
more
it too.
than Disneyland.
I like the good rides over there.
The Cars ride is really cool at California
You are
Adventure.
a grown man. You're
Sorry,
48
it
years
is.
old. 48? Yeah, 48.
I am.
Just turned.
Getting younger
November
every day.
3rd.
Getting younger. Thank you.
Thank
remember
you.
that
I
next
remember.
year.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for us. We will be back Friday edition of Ben and Woods tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. Last pair of Rolling Stones tickets to give away as well. Coach coming up next for executive producer, imaging director Paul Reindl. For Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Talk to you later on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.